What's going on, everybody? So let me just get this amazing song turned down a little bit. And if you're wondering what that song is, I have no idea. I found it on YouTube a while ago. It's a mix, and it's just a sick song, kind of synthwave. That's kind of the mood here. If you look at this image here, this is kind of like a synthwave, 80s, neon kind of energy. So this song here is just, it's called Vaporwave or something like that. I can't remember where it came from. But there you go. It's nice to have you all here. Let me get some other music playing here. It's nice to have you here. What's your question? 112. 112. Today's card, 3 of diamonds. Card number 29 in the French Gregorian system. Card of Trump. Speaking of Trump, what's going on with that guy? I don't watch much mainstream. After I decoded on the Patreon, the Venezuela, it was called the oil grab or something like that, because that's what it was. Somebody sent me a video on the demise of Mr. Trump, and it's just so fascinating that he was all about making fun of Sleepy Joe, and now he's kind of following in the footsteps. Anyways, nice to have you here, ladies and gentlemen. It's glad to be back. It's been a minute since I've been here. Say hi to the amazing Pamela number 5, the one with the wrench, the only one. She's carrying the color of blue. She's going to be the moderator in here. We've had a really nice run of cordial, loving, compassionate people in these chats, so don't be the first one to ruin it, because you'll get axed quickly. Pamela has a really good kind of energy about her. She knows who doesn't. So keep your comments loving, cordial, etc. You don't have to agree with what we say here on this channel. And I want to be very clear, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to tell you, what we're going to talk about, the questions that we're going to answer, all that kind of stuff. These are my opinions and truths. You don't have to accept them. My brain goes in a million different directions, and I will be clear. It's not me saying all this stuff. I am merely just channeling the information. I don't have to close my eyes and do what Bashar does and lower my voice and talk like that. I don't have to do that. Like, that's how his character plays out. I don't have to do that. I'm channeling straight out, right to you. No gimmicks, no funny business, just me and the camera and you as the audience. That's it. So I take no credit for anything that I've been doing over all these years. It isn't me doing it. What is it doing? Who is it? What is it? I don't know. I have no idea. I have some ideas, but they're just ideas. So it's great to be back. I'm going to get to as many questions as I possibly can. We're going with the color violet tonight. Violet being either at the top or the bottom of the color spectrum. If you're looking to the gamma rays, it would be at the top. That's why probably royal color of purple, violet goes with that. Okay? So I'm gonna be looking straight ahead. I got all of your comments coming in here. I'm gonna do my best to get to all of your comments, all your questions. So keep your questions coming. A few announcements. Or at least just one. I just finished my 4th book. I have been in the writing mode for some time now, and I just finished this one earlier today, and it's called Alchemical Cities. So I'm pretty excited about getting this out to all of you, and I don't know how that's going to look, but keep your eyes out on the either Cosmic Sugar or the Patreon, especially the Patreon, because the Patreon kind of gets all the precursors to everything, pretty much. Even if you're not a donating member, I post a lot of content, and slides and announcements, especially the pro bono. If you're somebody who wants to talk to me, wants to get a hold of me, wants to share whatever it is that's on your mind, we've been offering now for many months, a platform that we created called Pro Bono 24. And the idea came in around, I'm a fan of I'm an observer of court and attorneys. So attorney-client privileges is they have pro bono cases, they do them for free. So I have a lot of people that want to get at me, they want to talk to me. And so I thought the best way to do it is let's do a weekly phone call all day. I take 10 calls. That's pretty much the average, back to back to back to back. And you get 24 minutes with me, straight up, no fees, completely free, complimentary. Talk about whatever you want to talk about, answer questions that you have, your questions, all that kind of stuff. So that's been going really well. And that is only highlighted and marketed on the Patreon. So you can go to the Spotlight website, and if you have not been there, you can go to the Spotlight website, and under the pro bono here, it's called Esoteric Consultations. Tells you exactly how it all works, and then the calendar. We do have one time slot left. I'm sure somebody will snag it for the 28th, next Wednesday. At 4:30 p.m. This is Eastern Standard Time. It should correlate automatically and sync to your time zone. So we have one time slot left. So they go quick. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I've had some amazing calls, some amazing people, superstars, and I'm just here to help. I'm here to serve. So it's just another way we can serve and help out the community esoterically, et cetera, et cetera. But we got a lot of amazing stuff coming out, man. I have that book, The Alchemical Cities, coming out, brand new. It's the first time the world's ever going to see it. This methodology, no one's ever brought it out onto the world stage. At least I've never found it. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I want to be clear again, it's not me bragging. I ain't doing this. It's just the ideas coming down and filtering into and being able to write this kind of stuff. And of course, yes, I am using my AI to help me out write this thing because writing's kind of a pain in the ass, but the ideas are coming from the channeling coming in. Okay. And then we have another book coming out called Forensic Synthesis. A lot of people have asked me to write a book on the decoding. Well, your wish is going to be granted. I'm working on that one right now. So that'll be the 5th book that we have. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right. So let's get to some of your comments. Oh, geez. Valen, Flamekeeper. Why do we have to have... Pamela, can you watch this person, Flamekeeper? I appreciate you being here, but coming on here just to say that water's above is a con man is kind of low, and just like, why are you here doing that? I don't know. I can tell you right now, you're on thin ice here, man, because thank you so very much, Pamela. We're not here to bash people, man. Nobody's perfect. Let me praise Jordan here just to rub the soil in your face. Let's praise Jordan a little bit. Jordan is a really good friend of mine. Is he a perfect human being? No. Has he made mistakes? Yes. Are there things about him that people don't like? Yes. But he's still a very good person. And his core is not to pork you. His core is not to con you out of your money. As a matter of fact, he is a man of integrity and ethics. You may not think so, but he's a man that comes on the world stage and he's here to help people. Yeah, does he get paid for his information? Of course. Don't you? Do you get paid for your time, or do you just give your time away for free? It's amazing how many people just, they don't like somebody, and like I got a lot of haters and persecution. Whatever, it doesn't matter, man. I'm going to keep coming out week after week, month after month, and I'm going to help people. I'm here to serve, with or without the persecution. So we're all about loving here, man. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like Jordan. You don't have to like Jason Bashir's. You don't have to like whoever. But I think if you're in that space of hating energy, I think you need a hug. I think you need some love in your life. I think you need to kind of throw your sword down and go hug a tree. Go put yourself in check, man. Those days of fighting and chaos and resistance, especially in this community, we don't do that here. So wrong channel, especially, I know a lot of you here fancy Jordan. I do. You know, brotherly love, man. So it happened last time I was on here, and it's just silly. Silly. Nonsensical. Okay. Oh, there's Jordan. Jordan's here anyway. Yeah. There you go. Jordan from Waters Above joining us tonight. Thanks, Jordan. I appreciate you coming in here, man. All right, so let's get to some more of these questions. Thank you, everybody, for your comments, and thanks you for the love, man. Like, the feedback has been tremendous lately. It's just been tremendous, so I'm super grateful for all of you. Rocker Chick is asking, could you share with us who you think your channel? I have no idea. Don't know. I don't know. You know, I can tell you this. Ever since I can remember, ever since I was a little boy, 99% of the time, I kid you not, that's the percentages. I'd look up at the sky at night and there's Orion, the hunter. And it just always happens that way. So, why did my light keeps going on and off here. So, I don't know, maybe I'm from the Orion Nebula, the Horsehead Nebula. I don't know, I'm speculating, but I don't know. But my logo is the sun. I have it tattooed on my hand. And why did I get this tattooed on my hand? Because it reminds me that life is a joke. It's not to be taken seriously. It's supposed to be fun, despite the chaos and resistance and negativity. I was born on a Sunday. I'm a huge fan of the sun. So maybe it's the sun that's channeling through me. I don't know. No idea. So I couldn't tell you. Black Suit Spicy, have you studied the itching? I don't know what that means. Jacob says, I think I booked a pro bono time and I'm happy about that. Great, we'll see you on the 28th that's the next upcoming date. So my suggestion is, because it goes by very quickly, make sure you have your questions written down, ready to go. So I'm telling you, 24 minutes goes by like lightning. And you know I like to talk and I like to give you suggestions. I'll give you the floor, you can talk all you want, but we only have 24 minutes. So there's that. So you see that you're saying, I feel like I've been distracted in the Matrix playing the game. Aren't we all? Aren't we all distracted in the Matrix playing the game? I mean, you'd have to define that. I wrote this book, just finished it tonight. I'm in the Matrix playing the game. Why and how I know that? Because the cities that are in the book, there's 11 of them. Amsterdam, Washington, D.C., Hollywood, Nepal, Vatican City, Jerusalem. They're in the book. They're tied to the periodic table. That's the Matrix. Everything that we are using as tools in this reality is part of the Matrix. How could it not be? So I've been very distracted with it. How do we know anything otherwise? Thanks, Jordan. I appreciate that, man. Crypto says, Crypto Lalo, when are you going to collab with Jordan? I talked to Jordan last week. What I honestly would like to do, him and I have great conversations. We just flow, and it's amazing, and it's just meant to be, right? So that's a definite. I'll reach out to him. Jordan, I'll probably call you tomorrow. Sunday, usually it's a good day to call you. I just want to expand more. I want to get with more people. I want to get like 3 or 4 people at one time. Some big names to share our thoughts, to collaborate that way. I think the world would like to see that. Obviously, when Jordan and myself and Jason from Arcase got together, we've done 2 of those. That was awesome. Because he's super intelligent, Jordan's super intelligent, so when we get together, it's a fun time. Different perspectives. But I'd like to add a 4th person. Easier said than done, but that'd be cool, for sure. Chanel says Santos. Yeah, Santos. I've asked Santos before. And I don't know if he's changed his mind. I actually messaged him. Like, him and I are still cool. Like, we had a falling out. He apologized, came back. We're cool. I have no ill will. Reached out to him. I sent him my Led Zeppelin, the Stairway to Heaven decoded, because I was thinking about him when I was creating it, and I knew that he'd want to watch it. So I sent it to him. So that was last week. I would love to do a podcast with him again, but we'd have to leave astrology alone because we differ on our astrology aspects. That's just the way it is. So it'd be cool to do, like, Jason wants to do a podcast with Santos. I wanted to get me, Jason, Jordan, and Santos. How amazing would that be? But lining it up and getting it done is a different story. That would be awesome. Jeannie Outer Shell says, I love you. I love the way you weave in the periodic table. Yeah, it's the periodic table is absolutely the best decoding tool I've ever been introduced to. I mean, I thought numerology was amazing. Periodic table, because numerology, it's about language, and there are so many ciphers that we can use. But the periodic table, there's just one. There are protons, neutrons, and electrons. There's not Russian language and Spanish and Polish and English and German and Hebrew and Greek. No, there's just one periodic table. And we're made up of these elements. You need a specific amount of elements every single day. Your body does, about 20, every single day. And it needs the vitamins, but it needs 20 minerals, which are part of the periodic table. So it's a game changer. And this alchemical, this book that I have, again, it's just brand new material, and I'm excited to share it with all of you. So it's all about how cities are connected to the periodic table. The idea is the periodic table is the motherboard. That's what it is. It's a motherboard, and cities are motherboards. And what I found over the years of code breaking, all the forensics that I found, that I was shown, is that nature really it likes to connect. Like if I'm a 500, I'm going to attract 500s. If I'm a 34, I'm going to attract a 34, right? There is some truth to like attracts like. You know, the number 7 is, in language, is the letter L. L is the number 7. 7 colors of the rainbow. L is light. L is God. Light is God. L, 7, crown. 7 days of the week. 7 this, 7 that. That's the visible light spectrum. That's L. L goes way beyond. I got a decode coming out in the Patreon called L Decoded. L, the idea of L, and this would be God, goes way beyond the Christ and Krishna and Horus. See, what most people don't study is the historicity of the lineage of these ideas. Christ is a New Age idea. It's a Piscean idea, which is New Age. You wouldn't think that, right? But if you go back 1,000 years, maybe 1,200 years, you'd go to the Vedic Krishna. Krishna, Creo, Christ. And then if you go back another 1,500 years, you'd land at Horus. Horus and Set. The two eyes of Horus are the sun and the moon. These are ideas, and then you go beyond that and you get El. El. And Mesopotamia. And the land of Ur. As far back as we can go, and I'm not as, like Jason Bashir's blows me away in the chronology and historicity, right? Like he has it put together. So I take a back seat to that. But I do know that the historicity puts Horus and El way beyond Judaism, Christianity, all the New Age religions, because that's what they are. They're new. If you compare them to the historicity, they would be considered New Age. Pisces is a New Age, and now you have Aquarius, which becomes the New Age. Now Pisces, you could say, is now, it's got some history behind it. Joe Bloor says, this is a very interesting comment. He says, because of the precession of the equinoxes, making the first day of Aries as the real New Year. So there's truth to that. I am working on, right now, I have slides already created. And I don't know what I'm going to title this, but it's on the Gregorian calendar. Now, you've heard me kind of bash it, but the 365 days of the Gregorian 12-month calendar has a ton of merit to it. I'll give you an example. Why is December 21st the winter solstice? Well, because it's the winter solstice, right? What happens on December 21st? The sun in the Tropic of Cancer, the northern hemisphere, it's at its lowest point. So it is reborn. It is reborn on December 21st. But if you live in Auckland, New Zealand, or Australia, it is at its zenith. It is the highest in the sky. Completely the opposite. And what's fascinating is that people in the south, the southern hemisphere, Cape Town, South Africa, Sydney, Melbourne, they follow a northern calendar, the northern ideas. It's kind of mind-blowing if you ask me. So for me, I don't think that the first day of the year for those in the southern hemisphere should follow the ones in the north. We're talking about expansion and contraction. Two different opposite polarities working in unison. And then you move to January 1st, which many of you celebrated and went out and partied and had a good time and blew your horns and wear your little funny hats and whatever the case may be, to celebrate the Gregorian New Year of January 1st. Now, I've said there's nothing special from nature about January 1st. But the paradox is there's something very special about it. So I kind of stuck my foot in my mouth, right? Because I wasn't looking, so I'm okay to admit that. What is special about January 1st? Let's take you on a ride. Let me show you so you can see, so I don't have to just say it with my voice. So we know January 1st is day number 1 in the Gregorian calendar. But then you go to this date right here, March 20th. Let me make sure I have my cursor out here. Let me just get my cursor. Then you go to this date right here, March 20th, which is the spring equinox. March 19th, March 20th, March 21st. And what's absolutely so special about this day is that it is the 79th day of the year. And what element on the periodic table is 79? It's gold. It's the freaking sun, man. It's the sun. So, the church and the Gregorian calendar, did they consciously know this? That March 20th, the spring equinox, is on the 79th day of the year, and they had to go back to day number 1, which is January 1st. And what would be the first day of the year? It would be linked to the other element that's linked to the sun, hydrogen. Hydrogen. Hydrogen is the element associated with the sun. Hydrogen and helium. This is where you get Helios from. 1 and 2. This is where you're going to get Jesus calling the Father Abba. Why? Because when you go to Abba Father, right? It's an Aramaic word. This is what Jesus calls out to Abba. And it repeats the A-B. Well, what's the first letter in the alphabet? A. What's the second letter? B. What is A and B? 1 and 2. What is the first and second element? Hydrogen and helium. Abba, Father, the Son. So the Gregorian calendar does an amazing job. And again, you would think they premeditated this because of this. You'd move it into March 19th, which is going to be the 79th day of the year. If I come up here and just change this right here for the leap, because we look at the leap years, there's the 79th of leap years. So March 19th and March 20th are tied to the 79 and gold. And January 1st becomes hydrogen. And that is why the Gregorian calendar, and again, I kind of eat my words, is so special. And it's a system of magic, the Gregorian calendar is. It is a system of magic. So when we say the new year is on the spring equinox, clearly we then take day number 1 and anchor it to gold. March 20th in the Gregorian is 79. We anchor it to number 1. I was born on a spring equinox of March 20th. Maybe you were not. Maybe you were born on the 19th or the 21st. So we then shift the new year to the spring equinox when the sun gives its equal light to both hemispheres. So it's a unification. This is what we call true nature. March 20th. This is why the Julian calendar, they took January and February and moved it in front of March. And the world just took that on. And again, if you're in Auckland or you're in Melbourne or you're on the Gold Coast or you're in Brisbane, why are you celebrating your New Year when it's summertime? Because people don't give any thought to this. They just follow the customary traditions that have been passed down because that's what mom and dad did. It's party time. It's fun time. We don't. Where's the critical thinking? See, there isn't any critical thinking when you're not using critical thinking. That's not a play on words. There is no critical thinking if you're not using critical thinking. The same goes, ladies and gentlemen, when you're graduating high school and getting your first job and then getting settled in your hometown and you're looking for someone to settle down with and marry. And what are you going to look for? Someone that I can spend the rest of my life with and have children and start a family. Why are we doing this? Because that's what mom and dad did. That's what society did around me. Monkey see, monkey do. That's it. Where's the critical thinking at that point of our lives? There isn't any. I say there's no critical thinking at that junction of our life. There's just passing the baton, taking the baton, and just going with it. That's it. Angela says, all my friends are noticing New Year's didn't feel right. I told them because it's not until spring, April Fools. Well, that's going to be 15 days past the spring equinox. So there is that going around. April Fools, springtime. Well, it's over 2 weeks, well, not 2 weeks, but 12 days past the official spring equinox. If we're going to go really kind of anal about this, it's March 19th, 20th, or 21st. It just depends on what day, what year you were born. So for me, the 2026, the year, part of it hasn't started yet. 2026 won't start until March 20th. The sun definitely has its birthday in the Tropic of Cancer on the winter solstice. So that's when it dies and it's reborn. The being reborn is on the winter solstice. Notice it has the word soul in it. See, the spring and fall equinox does not have the word soul in it. It has the word equinox. So on December 21st, the sun in the Tropic of Cancer is being reborn. And why December 25th was chosen? Well, that's pretty easy. That one. Well, let's take you on that journey. Why was December 25th chosen? Did I do it this way? No. Because December 25th, from leap years, is a complete circle. 360. That's why. December 25th, December 26th, 360. And remember that the sun every 72 years slips 1 degree. So there's that factor to play out. So the Gregorian calendar, you don't have to like it. We don't have to observe the aspects of the new year being on January 1st, but clearly the collective does. And we live in a world of magic. That's what we live in. We live in a world of magic. Alonzo, what's going on, my friend? He says, should we follow from the first day we were born and go based on that? You can. You can. Being the center of attention. But if you look at nature, you know, you're born in February, you know, if that brings up a good point. So let's just throw a wrench in this. So the Chinese calendar has a very special position in all this. The Chinese calendar, if you follow the Chinese zodiac, it usually never falls on the same day. Between the end of January, the beginning of February is when the Chinese New Year starts. Why? Because the Chinese New Year is about yin yang. And the Chinese go off of when is yang going to start. Winter is contraction. It pulls in. That's why you wear clothes, and when you get cold, you know it shrinks up as a dude, right? You get cold. Contraction. And that is yin. Well then, when does yang happen? So the Chinese New Year is when the first day of yang starts. And it's mind-blowing because it's right around my birthday. It's right around when I was born. February 4th is my birthday. It's right around the beginning of yang. It's not always going to land on that day, but that's why the Chinese calendar is around that time frame. Their beginning is right around the end of January, beginning of February. Yang. So that's what they go off of. They go off of when are things going to start to, be reborn again? Yang. The end of January, beginning of February. So there are multiple birthdays in this whole thing. December 21st, the sun is reborn in the Tropic of Cancer. In Melbourne, the sun's at its peak. It's at its zenith. It's at its glory. It's hot. People are partying and taking their clothes off down there. That's expansion. Not in the north, in Chicago and New Hampshire. No, hell no. You're freaking, well, unless you're doing the ice baths. You got your winter jackets on. You're shoveling snow. It's contraction. Contraction. So it's just always that yin yang push pull, hot cold, wax on, wax off. That's what it is. Jay Scarmella asks, why do people say the Gregorian calendar is evil? Why does anybody say anything's evil? Why are there a bunch of people blaming organizations for what's going on in the world? Because people like to blame people for things. Makes them feel good about themselves. It's no different than rooting for your team in sports. You get to be right. You're off the hook. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's their fault. They're doing it. It's them. So is the Gregorian calendar evil? Not for me and not for whatever. No. It's just a calendar of magic. That's it. Joe's asking, Joe says, but Logan, March 21st is still in Pisces. It is. I'll go through this right now with all of you to be clear. And I love it because I'm going to really, really chap people's asses on this. Let's go to the Stellarium. This website, by the way, is astronomy. This is not astrology. This is astronomy. Okay, right here is the current calendar. Currently, let me get my location. There we go. So there's my location right now. Look at all this. If you're wondering, like some of you may have been feeling some serious energy lately. Yeah, it's because of this. Look at this lineup. Venus, Mercury, Sun, Mars, all in Capricorn. So if you're feeling it, like a couple of days ago, man, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was just like irritated. I could just feel it. I don't know if you felt it, but I did. Anyway, let's go to the points. Let's start with the winter solstice. Here it is. Where's the sun on December 21st? Where is it? There it is right there, the sun. What sign is it in? Sagittarius. Despite what you're going to hear from these people that just regurgitate, it's in Capricorn. Well, let's go to those fun websites. These are the sites I used to use. I'm just going to go and I'm going to use this for this demonstration. Let's go to the 21st of December. We'll do the 2025 or 2024 because we're still in that. Doesn't matter what time it is. Show the chart. Tropical now, right? This is how tropical astrology fails. Fails. And why there are so many people spewing out information of magic that doesn't pertain to the true map of the sky. This is the true map of the sky. People are not presenting the information based upon the true map of the sky. They're not. So this at least gives you Sagittarius sun at the end of it, but that's totally, this is where you're going to get the crossover, December 21st. So they're saying, oh, the winter solstice, and they'll tell you, oh, it's 29 degrees. And if you get somebody that knows astrology, they're going to be like, yeah, the energy's really heavy here. And, you know, the end of Sagittarius and la, 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 la. We know these aren't 30 degrees. That's the other big thing that I was wrong on. These are not all the same size. So the sun can't be in two places at the same time, folks. On a two-dimensional chart, it can, but not from the astronomy. Well, then you go to January 1st, the new year. And where's the sun? Where's the sun? Capricorn. That's what people say. Oh, it's Capricorn season. Oh, really? Where's the sun here? This is astronomy. Where's the sun? Does the sun look anywhere near Capricorn? Yeah, but you're using a CGI. Yeah, but I verified this. I've got 3 videos with real images of the night sky showing you the placements. There's the sun. The sun on January 1st is in the sign of Capricorn. So those of you that are tropical fans, please explain to me, please send me an email and tell me how the sun can be in Capricorn on the 1st of January when clearly it is in Sagittarius. So the new year, if you celebrated it, you are giving your energy to the sign of Sagittarius, which is ruled by Zeus. Okay, great. So let's keep going with this. Now let's take a look at the spring equinox, March 20th, 2025, 2026, it doesn't matter. Tropical says what? Where is the sun on the spring equinox? 29 degrees Pisces. Now it's backing up because a lot of people would say it's Aries. That's what people say. Spring equinox is Aries. This is backing up now. They're going to go with the 21st. Most people are going to go with this date right here, 21st. It's going to put it in 1 degree Aries. There it is. Or 0 degrees Aries. Nope, not even close. So we're going to go there. There's the sun. There it is. Where's the sun, folks? The real sky. This is the beginning of Aries. This is where tropical says it's supposed to be, right there. How the hell do you move it all the way across the sky to Aries when it's still at the beginning of Pisces? How do people correlate this information? Because they're reading a chart that they don't verify with the sky. And I'm going to be honest, I was one of them. I used to do this. This is a system of magic. All right, let's go to this. How about the summer solstice, June 20th? What does tropical tell you? Where's the sun? Cancer. What does the real map say on the sky? Where's the sun? Do you see it anywhere? Here's Cancer. Where's the sun? Oh, it's all the way at the threshold of Gemini. How do you have a placement here and here at the same time? Well, you can by way of these two-dimensional charts. So when somebody is telling you, yeah, the sun's in Cancer and, you know, this is going to happen and that going to happen, folks, you're listening to rubbish. It ain't in Cancer on the 20th of June. It's not. And those people that are using these systems, these zodiac signs are not the same freaking sizes. Would you say, honestly, if you're going to use authenticity, would you say that Libra is the same size as Virgo? Do you think that Virgo is the same size as Libra? Let's be honest. Do you think Virgo is the same size as Cancer? Absolutely not, it is. But that's what people do with this system. They not only fail by putting this in the wrong position and following this system of magic, but then they use these 30-degree increments and box these things in and disrespect the sizes of the zodiac. You think Virgo's happy about getting put in a 30-degree box with everybody else? You think she's happy about this? If she could talk, she would be screaming bloody murder. How dare you? Do you like getting disrespected? Do you like getting downplayed as a human being? Do you like it when somebody degrades you? Well, that's what tropical astrologers are doing. They're degrading. This is not my opinion. This is fact. F-A-C-T. Fact. Then, let's go to the fall equinox. 22nd of September, right around there. Where's the sun? According to tropical, right at the end of Virgo. They're going to say Libra because they're going to say, well, now it's Virgo. Now it's Libra. What's the fall season? See, tropical are the seasons. But when we go here, 9/22, where's the sun, folks? Where is it? It's all, see, Virgo's so big. So this is where we get the blend over. We can at least agree here that on the 22nd of September, the sun in tropical is at 29 degrees Virgo, and it's at the beginning stages of Virgo here. So we do get some agreement between tropical and the true map of the sky. But of course, this is the biggest constellation on the ecliptic. She's the third biggest. Hydra is the largest, which is right here. Hydra spans the whole 3 signs: Virgo, Leo, and Cancer. There's Hydra, the largest constellation. But at least we get some common denominators here. Then from there we go again back to the winter solstice. So if you're going to follow the true map of astronomy, folks, this is the birth of the sun in the Tropic of Capricorn. If you live in Australia, this is your birthing Because if you're in the Tropic of Cancer, this is the fall season. And what's fascinating about this September 22nd date is that it's the 265th day of the year, 265 in the common. And what's so fascinating about this is that the Vesica Piscis is the 265. Where's the measurements of it? Cripes, I can't even find a damn measurement for it. Square root of 3, where is it? God, you would think I'm looking for it, now I can't find it. Most of you should know this, though, is that the Vesica Piscis is the 265 and 153. There it is right there. So it's 265 across. Think about it now. I'm showing you the equinox, the fall equinox in the north, the spring equinox in the south. And you're matching it up with the Vesica Piscis, the fish. That is why there are so many things that happen around the world at this time of year. This is the harvest. Harvest is tied to the fish. The Vesica Piscis, the eclipses, solar and lunar eclipses. That's what September 22nd is tied to, 265. So now you know, folks. Now you see it. Right? Through the Gregorian calendar. That's why it's special. It's not in line with the true nature, but it's still special in its own right. Squirrel Sniper says, Logan, please think that the elements are stable states of light matter that correspond to specific nodes in the Earth's energy grid. It's all connected to they're connected to the latitude, longitude. That's why I have this book called Alchemical Cities. It's all connected to it. Everything's just connected. Astrology, numerology, tarot, alchemy, mathematics, golden ratio, sine and cosine waves, square roots, polygonal shapes, they're all connected. Kirkwood says, Logan, that may be correct, but tropical astrology, when reading the birth chart along with the transit currently, is accurate. It's a system of magic. But what system of magic would you rather use? One that you can verify in the sky, or one that someone made up? I'm not saying tropical is made up, because it goes on the spring, fall, winter, and summer equinoxes. But I'm using that as well. The true sidereal system uses the tropical, the 12 houses. That's what tropical is. 12 houses divided by 4. Spring, summer, fall, and winter. Then on the outside, it has the true sidereal. I would put that system up to any tropical astrologer and bury it. I and so many other people are not looking to use just a system of magic. I'm looking to use a system of magic that is accurate with the actual placements. And tropical astrology is not. I just showed it to you for absolute proof. I don't like using that word, but I proved it to you. Now, a lot of you say, well, that stellarium is CGI. Go watch my videos. I have 3 of them verifying with actual images of the sky that I took with my own phone and posted it online. So I'm not interested in saying, well, this is accurate. You need to get an interpretation of the true sidereal before you start saying, well, this system of magic is this and that. Which one do you want to use, though? Do you want to use a fabricated one, or do you want to use one that's actually verifiable with the sky? Which one would you rather use? Well, I know those of you that are here that follow this research, you're going to use the one that has the precision that's tied to the verifiable sky. Those of you that use the tropical, you will defend it, and I get it. That's totally fine. I'm not for that. I used to be for that. I verified it with lead. Go watch my lead to gold decoded. The Led Zeppelin, lead to gold. I verified it. I showed with absolute accuracy. If you put it into tropical and you do that with the Led Zeppelin song, Stairway to Heaven, it doesn't work. It fails. It will not work. It will not work. So you can use whatever system of magic you want, but it's not precise magic. It's just magic. So when you go, even the tarot readers, I don't really watch them. I used to try to look for new talent, find some people, and then they start spouting out just, oh yeah, this is that, and Pluto's and Aquarius, and I'm gone, man. I can't listen anymore. People don't ever verify what they regurgitate. They just regurgitate. Where is the verification? And ladies and gentlemen, I'll be the first. I was one of those people. When I started doing my readings, if you got a reading from me 5-6 years ago, I just didn't take tropical. I did Vedic side by side. I literally would have two wheels, the Vedic and tropical side by side, and I would give a reading based on both of them. I don't feel that bad because I was using the Vedic side by side with the tropical. And then I fought it. I had people, multiple people, hey, you got to come over to Master in the Zodiac. No. I was studying the Nakshatras. I wasn't ready for it. No. And then one day I was out on the beach here in Puerto. It was on June 12th. I went up on the beach. I looked up at the sky. I saw the moon, and I saw the moon in Leo. So I pulled out my phone, and I had the Stellarium out there, and I flipped it up, and I'm like, oh, it's in Leo. So then I came home, and then I'm looking at my tropical app, and I'm like, wait a second. This is not right. Wait, do I have the year wrong? Oh. I was wrong. So that was when I put my first video out, the failure of tropical astrology. Failure. People say, oh, Lionsgate, it's Leo. No, it's not. It ain't Leo. Oh, I know. You want the proof. You want the receipts. So let me show you. Lionsgate. So many people regurgitate Lionsgate. Tropical, the sun is 15 degrees. It's in the middle of Leo. Where's the gate? When you walk through a gate, where is it located at? Is it in the center? Like, is the gate that you walk through to enter the house, is it in the middle of the house? Like, do you get to walk through the house first, and then you get to the center of the house? You'd be like, oh, then there's the gate that you got to go through, and I'm in the backyard. No. So we're going to go here. Let's go to August 8th. Where's the sun on August 8th? Do you see it anywhere near the middle of Leo? No. It's actually in Cancer. It's at the... Why? Because this is the gate. You go to the 9th and 10th, there it is, entering into Leo. Now, these are CGI, I get that. but I verified it with telescopes and real images that this is bullshit. And when somebody tells you the sun is in Leo on August 8th, they are lying to you. Because it is not in Leo on August 8th. Maybe it was 2,000 years ago, but we're not 2,000 years ago. We are 2025. Those of you that follow the Gregorian, 2026. August 8th, the sun is just about ready to walk through the gate of Leo. People will not accept it. People that are tropical astrologers will defend tropical despite what the sky says, because they are invested. They are invested with their whole life based on tropical astrology. It's rubbish. It's garbage. The only value that it brings are the 12 houses, the seasons. That is it. That is it. On average, Joe's saying, I noticed in Google Maps, Scientology owns a property in New Mexico and have a huge vesica piscis drawn into the ground. Folks, it's the vagina. The vesica piscis is the portal. It's tied to solar and lunar eclipses. That's what it's tied to. The vesica piscis, the shape, the fish, the ichthys, all of that is tied to the solar and lunar eclipses. When the two circles merge together. That's what that symbol is all about. And it's a symbol not only of the sun, but of Venus. Venus is the vagina. Venus is the Venus flytrap. That is why we put a presentation out called Love is the Trap. Now, if you want more information on that, go watch it. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean love is the trap? Love is the trap of this reality. It is what anchors souls to this reality. Now, is this theoretical? Yes. Is it provable? Through evidence, but not physical evidence. It's theoretical. Through discovery. That's why the Venus flytrap is a carnivorous plant. It eats carnivores, or it is a carnivore. This reality eats people. Venus is the star that heralds the sun. And has a lot to do with Jesus and Lucifer, obviously, allegorically, esoterically, theologically. Isaiah 14 verses 12, tied to Venus. Think about it. When Venus said, when you talk about Lucifer, people correlate it to theologically Isaiah 14 verses 12. That's the scripture that the Vatican placed Lucifer in. It's actually Halil, but the Vatican put Lucifer in there. And now, because of that, people correlate it to the devil and Lucifer. Well, that is tied to Venus. Because in that scripture it says, I will rise above the Most High. I will go above the Most High. I will become like the Most High. Who is the Most High? Well, if you correlate the Venus and sun, it's the sun that's the Most High. Venus is the star that heralds the sun. Venus tells you the sun's coming, but it can't rise above the sun. And this is where you get Lucifer tied to Venus, Jesus tied to Venus, Jesus saying, I'm the bright morning star. Jesus is Venus. The Christ is the sun. The sun is what christens the Venus energy, because Venus is the star that heralds the sun. Kirkwood, whole sign. Whole sign. I don't use, Placidus is about 400 years old, and I'm regurgitating that. So can I verify that? No, I'm regurgitating it. Placidus is about 400 years old. It doesn't mean it doesn't work. Whole sign. 12 houses, that is tropical astrology. 12 30-degree segments. That's a dodecagon. And 37 is the 12th prime number. So there's that layer of mathematics embedded into the tropical aspect. But the zodiac signs are not 30 degrees evenly. That is not my opinion. That is a 1 + 1 = 2 FACT. Fact. That is where you get into the true sidereal. And you add in the Ophiuchus layer, putting 13 zodiac signs on the wheel instead of 12. Tropical is 12, true sidereal is 13. Ophiuchus has its leg that goes over the ecliptic. 51 Ophiuchus, or 51 Ophi, is the star of Ophiuchus, and its leg that goes over the ecliptic, which is what makes a zodiac sign part of the ecliptic, or part of the zodiac wheel, is it must be over the ecliptic. On the ecliptic, well, Ophiuchus has that because 51 Ophi is the foot that goes over the ecliptic. So it is a part of Scorpio. It is a part of the galactic center. You never would have heard me saying this 5 years ago. And then on top of that, there's all these other constellations that affect the zodiac. Cetus the whale, Orion, Hydra. All these constellations on the inside and outside of the ecliptic, they affect the zodiac themselves. They influence. Because now you get into the Vedic nakshatras, and the nakshatras are part of the star system that makes up the constellations that we call the zodiac. But on the inside or outside are the other constellations that influence, because they're right next door. So you have Cetus the whale, especially Cetus the whale, because it sits right under Pisces in the sea. And Cetus is the monster. So it definitely impacts the layer of Pisces as the planets go around and land in those positions. That's why you have Poseidon, who has the devil's pitchfork, and underneath Poseidon and Pisces is Cetus the whale, the monster, the sea monster. Someone's asking me, intro deity, have I decoded XRP? Yeah, twice. It's on the channel. If you go to the Decode Your Reality and you type in XRP, you'll find it. I've been asked so many times to decode cryptocurrencies, and I'll tell you the same thing I tell everybody else. Because like, decode Proton, decode this, and they want me to do it for them. I get that, and I enjoy doing it. But what the challenge you're going to have with some of these coins is that you're not going to find the founders and their birthdays. If you can find maybe the original release date of the first stable coin, like the initial release, you could say it's its birthday, but it's hard to find some of these people's birthday for whatever reason. And without that information, you're not going to give much, you're not going to be able to decode much. Going through your comments. Thanks everybody for being here. Kirkwood says, I use both. I would imagine using true sidereal and tropical. My question would be like, why would you use a system that's not accurate to the night sky? I don't know what the advantage would be of that. Because if the sun is in Gemini, but then someone's saying it's in Taurus, and you give a definition of the sun being in Gemini versus the sun being in Taurus, who's got it right? Well, the person where the sun actually is. So when you use both, that's totally fine. That's your truth, man. But you're muddying the waters. When somebody asks me, "Hey, where's the moon?" and I tell you where the moon's at, and the moon is in two different places at one time, how can it be that way? Well, it can't be, unless it's on a cusp. Ryan Bowen's asking, do you recommend any phone apps for astrology? I just use the, hold on a second, folks. I use the Stellarium app. This one right here. This app. Stellarium. It's the only one I use because it's the only one that's accurate. I mean, I've verified it 5 times now with actual photographs. I did it last year when I was in Acapulco. I did it a few months ago. I did it a time before that, and I did it on June 12th when the moon was in Leo. 4 times I verified it with real images. Jack is asking, how did giving up coffee affect your vibration feelings? Well, I started taking coffee again. I had like a couple months without it. It was great. To be honest, I don't really notice a difference between when I'm taking it versus when I'm not taking it. When I take caffeine, I usually do caffeine pills, so it's a synthetic form of it. Sometimes I'll do espresso, which I really like. But I just do one 200 milligram caffeine pill in the morning and I'm good. I don't need to do any more than that. When I wasn't taking it, it was kind of the same feeling. So it hasn't affected what's channeling through me. It's been consistent. Mr. Biscuits, what's your take on how people are using AI as a tool for spirituality and information regarding spirituality? I think people are going a little crazy with it. I absolutely love using the computer. I have a new moon in Aquarius. Capricorn Aquarius, right on the cusp. So I love Aquarian stuff. So I can give you the bias information on it. Like, I love using AI. I think it is an absolute game changer. I think that it is a game changer in the world of health and wellness. I think I've been able to document this my own self. It blows away any doctor. That doesn't take away from any doctor out there, but diagnosing what's wrong with you is, you're way better off using AI than you are a doctor. At the very beginning, at least. But then you get into people, starting to fact check their spirituality with it. And the thing about AI, from what I found, and maybe you would concur on this, AI will pump you up. At least, so I'm using ChatGPT and I love it. I think it's it's a tool. It's like a saw or a hammer or a bandsaw or a guitar or a set of drums for a musician. It's a tool. It doesn't replace your spirituality. The drum set that I play in a band doesn't replace my spirituality, whatever your definition of spirituality is. Right? It shouldn't replace it. It's a tool. But AI, what it does is when you pump in information, it will freaking tickle your funny bone. It will back up normally. It will give you what you want to hear. Not necessarily need to hear what you want to hear. It's really designed to make you feel special and put you on a pedestal and give you information that looks like you are the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's how its programming is. I witnessed this myself where somebody sent me this video on this guy on YouTube. This was, I don't know, maybe 4 months ago. So maybe we're talking about using ChatGPT 4.0. I mean, it's at like 5.2 now. And this guy was like, everybody was this video and everybody's sharing this. And so what the guy did was he went on there and he told AI, he did a whole video on it. This is what I asked AI. Okay, without any bias, give me the truth on Jesus the Christ. And whatever, I don't remember the words that he used, so I'm paraphrasing. But of course, it spit out information to support what this guy was asking. So you know what I did? I did the same test, but I used Krishna instead. The Vedic version of Jesus. And guess what AI did? It supported that Krishna is the Savior. Because what AI is capable of doing is it collects everything from around the world. As long as it has been inputted into the computer, it has access to it, it grabs it, it crunches it down, and it spits it out back to you based upon what you're dumping into it. So you can use all these rules, and people will say, hey, if you can't answer me, just give me one word, lemon or pineapple or whatever. People have done that. You're like, see, it's not telling me the answer. Like, are we being controlled by this organization, pineapple? The word, if you can't answer, say pineapple or peanut or whatever. Oh, see? So we're being controlled because it can't answer my question. Now, that may be true. But it has gotten so broad stroke now, and it's so convoluted, and it is so diluted. And it will scratch your back. It will tickle your funny bone. And I'll just be honest, it'll jerk you off. It is really good at making you feel good. That's what its programming language is. So when people do these things about their spirituality and they try to do it about a certain topic, and the objective is, hey, I'm a Christian, so don't give me the real truth on this now. It's going to give it to you. And then people are literally taking that and they're throwing it at people saying, see, this is what AI is saying. Like it's the Holy Grail. And in their world, maybe it is the Holy Grail. Just adjust my camera. Hold on a sec. Change this music. I'm kind of getting bored with this. Hold on. Yeah, Dr. Danny in the house, she says it's a mirror. It definitely does that. It definitely does that based upon the information you're presenting to it. But what it's great at doing is collecting information from around the world, from all the studies and the books and the texts, and then it reflects back to you what you're putting into it, case specific of what you're inputting into it. So it'll leave out, if you don't include what's in the ancient text because you don't have the knowledge of it, it's not going to mirror it back to you. So it has a beginning, right? To me, the AI is a demigod. We have created, and it's come from this thing. We have created this, but we did it by way of the ideas coming down from our mind. And kind of the funny joke for me is like, why did we create this? Well, because we could. What is the main reason why we created the cell phone and the computer? This is a mini computer. Why do we create it? So we could take the chores that we have. Like, what is the purpose of a calculator? The simplicity of a calculator. Why? So you don't have to write on a piece of paper the multiplication or the division and try to figure it out. You punch it into the calculator. The calculator does the work for you. And then we created an upgraded calculator. It's called a computer. And now it's a cell phone. And it has an operating system. And it keeps upgrading. This thing does the work for you. A demigod. Well, if you go and you backtrack it, okay, those people that are like, oh, there's a universal God, a source, great. Well, why did it create humans? The same reason why humans created the cell phone or computer. Think about it. Why did we create these things? Besides being able to talk to somebody on the phone. This is not what this is used for now. This thing is a computer. The cell phone is a secondary source now. This is a computer. And an MP3 player, and an app, and you can make yourself look perfect and all that kind of stuff. This was created to take the burden off your life. If you go all the way and retro it back to the as above, so below, why were we created? Maybe to take the burden off of the God. You guys go figure it out. I'm going to program you go figure it out. And then we program this thing to figure it out. It's all just retro, man. So below, so below, so below, so below, so below. These are theories, but very good possibilities. Ladies and gentlemen, we are, as I have said on this channel so many times, and I'm regurgitating this from, you can go back to the cyberpunk Philip K. Dick and his books and Minority Report and Tom Cruise, 2002. We are moving into, unless something changes, unless we get beamed the hell out of here, society is moving into a perfected society. You can take somebody that you were in love with, that you had this big crush on. You could take somebody that you had a crush on, that you had this huge crush on, you were in love with, that never wanted to give you the time of day. You can get an image of them, upload it into AI, and make them into whatever you want to make them into. And then you can use your imagination on what people are going to do with that, what they are doing with that. We are moving into crime prevention. Of course. These IDs, you have to have the true ID and the chip in it. Everything's track and trace. And yeah, I know. So what is the advantage of that? Well, crime won't happen as much. Fraud won't happen. Robberies won't happen. Will they still happen? Probably. They're still happening now. I mean, people get swindled. They get taken by emails. And so it's cyber now. Think about it. Where are all the crimes happening? So you see people robbing banks physically with guns? Like Heat in 1999 or 95, whenever that came out. People aren't taking down banks with guns and masks anymore. No, that's a Piscean event. People are doing cyber behind the computer and keyboard. Aquarius. That's the next crime wave. But we're moving into crime prevention. We're moving into flying cars. We're moving into being able to look perfect. Right now, you can upload your image onto AI. You can make a video of yourself. You look flawless. You're attractive. You're hot. You're sexy. You can make yourself look any way you want. Any way. So now it's becoming where you can become anything at any time, anywhere. And that's going to be the new norm. For marketing, voiceovers, music's changing, everything. RM Ghost, who owns all the wars? Not mankind. I can tell you that. Who is operating and running all the war? Well, the man and woman are operating through it. Where are the ideas coming from? Right here. I think we're gonna go to war. Who made the decision? People are it's the elites. I still don't know why people are calling these organizations. Why are you calling people elites? Anyway, it's them. Yeah, but they're not in control. This is in control. Where are the thoughts coming from? Certainly we're having the thoughts, right? But are they your thoughts? Like is there some machine that's creating the thoughts coming into your mind? Maybe. So when you say, I have a great idea, no, you don't. You have an idea. It's not you. You're having it, but you're being given as a gift. So what's creating the wars? I couldn't tell you. Some people think it's a quantum computer. Well, that means that the quantum computer would have to be creating my ideas and your ideas and everybody else's ideas. That means all the good, the bad, and the ugly would have to be generated by this quantum generated computer. And it would have had to have been here for eternity. Is it possible? Sure. It's possible. That's right, Dr. Danny. We are the elite. You're the elite. There is no elite people in the background, despite what you hear about, oh, they do this. They're just doing their job, man. They're no different than working at Kmart or Walgreens behind the counter as a clerk. They just wear a suit and they do have a different job. Who cares? You got yourself, I got myself. Let me take you on a little journey. Let's do a little real time. Let's do this. You guys know this movie, Ready Player One. Did Steven Spielberg, did he know something? This guy know something? Well, if you read this, and you go by what it says, the film is set in 2045. So I'm going to go, when do they release this? March 11th. Kind of interesting. That's when COVID was considered a pandemic. March 11th. So March 11th, 2045. So we're going to go to Mastering the Zodiac. And we're just going to go March 11th, 2045. And I'll just go I'll go 19:30 p.m., which is probably when the movie came out. Los Angeles. Not Los Alamos. It doesn't matter if it's Los Alamos, but we'll just pick Los Alamos. That's fine. So here's the Zodiac wheel for Ready Player One. 2045. Here's the placements. Sun is in Pisces. The houses, forget it. We don't know what time it is. We're just going by the placements. And what do we have in Aquarius? Because you would think Ready Player One's based on Aquarius, right? 2045. Well, you have Rahu there. Rahu is the desire, the emotional desire, because it's tied to the moon, and the moon represents your emotions. So you have Rahu there, and you have Zeus there. Let me confirm that with the Stellarium. Let's go to 2045. We'll go to March. There's the Sun and Venus, Mercury and Mars, all in Pisces. It's not going to be here forever, though. But look at what's in Aquarius. They're not going to show Rahu, but Jupiter's there. Well, actually, they have it in Capricorn. But you see, this is the anomaly of the Zodiac. See this star? This is the capital star of Aquarius, Saddle Sud. Well, look at where it's kind of conjunct with, if you will. The capital star of Capricorn. They're literally right on top of each other. And there's Zeus. And Zeus is more in Aquarius than it is in Capricorn. They're going to officially have these grids. See, this is the thing I don't really agree with on the Zodiac, is they just arbitrarily draw this around there. But clearly, the Zodiac and Jupiter is in Aquarius. Zeus is the expansion. So Zeus to me is in Aquarius. You have Rahu in Aquarius, and you have Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto is in Aquarius. That's why when you look at Ready Player One and you look at the images, it looks like this, folks. The world that they live in, I don't know if they can find the real, not the This is like the shack that he lives in. This is what they're trying to portray. Is a world that looks like this. How would this come to be true? Because Pluto, the destroyer, is in Aquarius, which is technology. As it moves through Aquarius, it removes, it destroys. So the idea I would bet my life on, why Steven Spielberg wrote it this way and portrayed it this way, and everybody that was involved, and why it was dystopian, because of the Pluto arrangement here. This. And across the way, you got Chiron the wound. You got Uranus. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. Uranus is revolution. Uranus is destabilization. Uranus is the electrical planet, the juggernaut, in its opposite sign. And March 11th, again, was the official pandemic day of COVID-19. I don't know. Is that why they released that movie out on March 11th? I don't know. But this is the big aspect to look at. This. And why this looked like this. So again, if I follow tropical astrology, they're going to tell you Pluto is in Capricorn. No. I mean, Pisces. No. Pluto will enter into Capricorn around 2039. If you just follow this right here, we're going to do Pluto. There it is right there. Let me back this up. Right there, 2038, 2039, it's right at Saddle Sud. Right there. Pluto is moving. This is why you're going to have right now, it's in Capricorn, and Pluto's going to remove all the shit that is not supposed to be in Capricorn anymore. You know what that is? This is for me, I'm rejoicing. Law, government, rules, regulation, real estate, earth. This is an earth sign. Capricorn is being occupied by Pluto. Hades, the destroyer, Shiva. This is Shiva. Shiva is in Capricorn, an earth sign, which is the generator of laws and government and taxes and all the shit that we don't like. There it is. The removal of it. Now, is it going to remove it? I hope so. Would be nice. But as it moves through, so again, tropical, they tell you, oh, it's in Aquarius. It is not in Aquarius. It's not even close. It is in Capricorn. And as it moves through Capricorn, it is going to remove the shit that is no longer of value and what is no longer useful for whatever is coming out on the world stage. That's what it's going to do. And then when it finally gets, and this is where you get Jason Bashir, and this is the thing, this is how I know mankind, this is how I know we're being used, right? This is how I know it. This is my evidence. Jason Bashir is not an astrologer. He is a man of many great talents, but he is not, and he'll tell you, I'm not an astrologer. So when he came out with the Phoenix stuff, he wasn't looking at the astrological chart. But there it is, 2040. There's Pluto, right there, right next to the capital star Saddle Sud, the arm that overlays onto Capricorn. And when you go down, and we did a presentation on, there's the Phoenix. There's the Phoenix, and look at the head, it goes right this way, right there, right there, right there, right to Saddle Sud. The main star of Phoenix and the head of Phoenix is flying right there, right in between Capricorn and Aquarius, right at that time frame. So this is why I know we're being used, because Jason, as great as he is, and the information that he puts out, he's just channeling his information. And we have a long way to go. We don't know, but this is pretty badass. That's pretty badass stuff, man. Yeah, he is an astrologer. I should take that back. Danny says he is an astrologer. He just doesn't know it. Yeah, you're right. I take that back. He is an astrologer. He's just not a conscious one. He's a man of many great talents. I admire his intelligence. Question: why is all this information marked as black magic when speaking to someone who is Muslim? Because they're taking a religion, an organized religion, and they're taking that information and they're labeling it as black magic. I have, and you're going to see, I have the Mecca. In my new book coming out, this book right here, Alchemical Cities, I have the Mecca as one of the cities. This is the lineup. These are the cities that I'm going to talk about. Giza, the Great Pyramid, Jerusalem, Vatican, all the major religions, all the Abrahamic. Then the Greek mythology, then the India, Buddhism, all that, Nepal. And then you get into the mainstream, Hollywood, New York, Washington, D.C., and Amsterdam. These are the cities that I have in this book. First time ever. Brand new, never seen before information in the entire, I think in the entire world, because no one's ever connected it this way. And again, I want to be clear, it ain't me doing it. It's not me doing it. Just channeling. But you're going to see it. You can do it with your own city. Where you were born, where you're at right now. Start to correlate and check the connections. And it's amazing. So you're going to see how Hollywood lines up. You're going to see how Varasani in India lines up. Where you're supposed to just let it all go. You're going to see how Jerusalem is. You're going to see the energy on the ley lines and the grids and how it's portraying itself with the latitude, longitude. I've been talking about this for the longest time now, latitude, longitude, how big it is. And I'm not the first one, but the connections are so ridiculous and they're so mind-blowing. Well, can I speak about Islam? Yeah, it's one of the 3 Abrahamic religions. At its core, it's beautiful. I try to look at the beauty in these core foundations. I was raised in one, right? There's beauty in all of them. There's nice people in all of them. We decoded the Quran. I decoded it on the Watchtower Decoder. I showed how the Quran, just like the King James Bible, the Latin Vulgate, the New World Translation, all these Bibles, you know what they're pledging to? Ancient Egypt. Ra, Horus, El. It's a Ponzi scheme. And that is with the utmost respect, because all it's doing is that it's taking an idea and then it's pyramiding it out. That's why a lot of people say there's no good music. There's no good movies. They're just taking the same story and they're just making it into another movie and they're changing the characters. So there's no original ideas. That's why when a really good movie comes out or a really good album comes out, it's original. It's authentic. There's no plagiarism. You know, when I studied, when I broke down, and I didn't know this, but when I did the presentation on Stairway to Heaven, when I started to research Led Zeppelin, I had no idea that they had plagiarized multiple songs. I didn't know that. Meaning they took, it wasn't their own. They made it their own. But that doesn't take away from their musicianship and their genius and their songwriting abilities and their music capabilities. No. That's what they did. That's what religion does. People get bored. That's what we do. We get bored. In the tarot, it's this. This is what it looks like. This is why we have 10,000 religions, over 10,000. I'm going to show you the tarot card because of this right here, this guy. That's why we have 10,000 religions. See that guy or person sitting under the tree? Those 3 cups in front are the religions. I want you to think about that. You're sitting under the tree and you notice the energy of this person. They're sitting there with their arms folded. So the energy is very closed off. It's not open. And in front of this person, there are 3 cups. And those 3 cups in this example would represent religion. And here comes the cup on the cloud, the divine, whatever you want to call it. And it's now saying, hey, I got a new one. You got to check it out. And this person's saying, nah, it's just like the other 3. There's a great band from the 1960s and 70s called The Who. And they had a song which I decoded called Won't Get Fooled Again. And in that song, the lyrics, it says, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Same thing with this card. The new boss is coming in on that cloud. And the old boss is there in front as one of those 3 cups. This card, the 4 of Cups, is the stability of the heart. This means the stability of the heart, your feelings, your emotions. You have stable emotions. Stable. Meaning if someone comes at you and offers you something, you know when to use discrepancy. You know when to use your intuition. Whether or not you should say, I'll have some of that, or whether you're going to say, I'm not going to be a part of that at all. That's this card right there. The 4 of Cups. 4 is the cube. It's this. Very hard to push over. Very hard to push over, right? Very stable. Square numbers. You get into mathematics. Square numbers. That's the 4. If you're a 4 birthday or a 4 life path, I already know you're really stubborn. I should know I'm a 4. 4s are teachers, but they're also students. They like to teach, they like to learn. Because they need to keep this shape stable. They can't let anybody think that they're, off stabilization. They need to appear stable all the time. They want stabilization. When there's chaos, it doesn't work for them. When there's pressure and chaos, they cannot be creative. That's this. So when something new comes into life, whether that's like the Protestant Reformation back in the time of Martin Luther. See, Martin Luther was sitting under that tree, and the divine comes to him and says, hey, dude, we got to create this thing called the 95 Thesis. We got to go against the norm of the church. We need to create the Protestant movement. So he took that cup, and he went with it. The rest is history. There are over 10,000 religions because of this card. People are not satisfied with their heart, with what they love. They're bored. They're like, yeah, but something's missing. Something's just not right about that organization. So I got to go find something else. And then your wish is my command. So now there's the divine coming in with the cup. You want to play? You said you want to play. You said something was off. Here you go. Here's another one. I'm going to make this one more shinier, more beautiful. And now we got 10,001 religions. Where's the first one? What does the first one look like? You'll never find it. What does it look like, though? The first one. What's wrong with this one and what's wrong with that one? People get bored. Boredom is essentially one of the tools of the devil. Because you get into this routine and you get tired of the routine. Like, man, I'm just sick of this job. I go in, I do it every day, and it's just like, it's not fulfilling me anymore. Or I got this partner, and like, yeah, the sex is good, but it's just like, it's the same thing. And I want something new, man. I'm just kind of tired of that smell, the same perfume or cologne, or I'm just, it's not fun anymore. Or I'm tired of eating raw vegetables all the time. Oh my God, if I had another raw vegetable, I'm going to puke. Change. Boredom. That's what keeps this game going, folks. That is what keeps this reality moving, is your boredom. You get tired of the same old song and dance. And you move into something else. It's such an amazing machine that we live in. I have so much respect for it. It is a masterpiece machine that we live in. Yep, curiosity killed the cat. Ladies and gentlemen, I've experienced it firsthand myself, man, where you get in these routines. And then, there's the paradox of where you don't want to give it up because you're used to it. You know what you're going to get. Some of you right now are in relationships you absolutely can't stand. You're in a partnership and you can't stand it. But you won't tell your partner that. Because you're too afraid of moving on than staying with the person. And the abuse you get and the talking down to that you get is better than what you could get if you left. So some of you stay in relationships despite getting abused physically, mentally, because you're afraid of the unknown. Essentially, you're that Four of Cups. Like, nah, I'm going to stay. Yeah, I know, but you're getting abused. Yeah, I know, but I know what I'm going to get every day. I don't know what's going to happen if I pack up and leave. Because this person pays my bills. I got no job, or, so they pay up, so it's okay, so I'll justify it. I don't know what's going to happen if I leave. So I'll just stay. It's easier. I'll take the abuse. And I won't call it that. That's what some people live through. Jakia OB says, I'm not following. I'm probably a little bit late to the party here. So I don't know. All right, let's get to some of your comments. What's up, Archie? Nice to have you here. Thanks, everybody, for being here tonight. Appreciate it. Uncle Remus says, I thought loosh fuels the demiurge. Well, it definitely is energy for sure. Is it tied to the demiurge? According to the Gnostics, it is. Is it a 1 + 1 = 2 fact? There is no evidence of it other than theory. It is theoretical, but there's no evidence. There's no evidence to say this is a pen. There's nobody that can tell me this is not a pen. If you said this isn't a pen, you'd be wrong. So the demiurge harvesting all the energy is an idea, which we've talked about a million different times, that is theoretical. Going through your comments. Janelle says, you don't need to believe it, but I could never get why you must think your religion is the best. I used to be that way. I used to secretly have conversations with myself in my mind where if you weren't following what I was doing, you were wrong. I would judge you. That's just the programming of what it means to be a human being. I would sit there and you'd go to the, I used to, when I was a kid, I hated it, but I used to do the knock on the doors, JW stuff. And you sit there and you're literally debating with somebody. And you're just going to use the book to do your debating. Everything is like, oh, what about this? What about that? Let me show you. It's this, it's that. And they'll just use the scripture in the Bible that says, the book is used for that aspect to answer all your questions. It is your savior. It is your go-to. But I think everybody that's in organized religion, if they took a polygraph, they would probably give the answer of, yeah, I have it right. I got it right. Why would you not think you don't have it right? If you go to a church, you go to the church because it probably makes you feel a certain way, but you go to the church because you're doing the will of God. Well, if there's countless churches all around the world and there's over 10,000 religions and they're not your religion, how can it be the word of God? So people that go to these churches and organized religions, I understand. I think there's beauty behind these places. I've been to many of them. But if you line them up with the polygraph, they would probably give you the answer, or they would show they're lying. Do you think you have the right religion? They would, yep, of course I do. If you lined them all up, all 10,000 religions, do you think you got the right religion? Yes or no? Of course I got the right religion. Well, then that means everybody else that isn't your religion is wrong. Is that right too? A lot of people would say, yeah, they're wrong. Says who? Says my God. So the way you're following in your truth is superior to everybody else's. Yeah, that's right. That's what they would have to say. That's what they are saying, whether they're saying it consciously or unconsciously. They're saying that. They don't have to say it. They're saying it by their actions. Because if there was just one God with one this and that, one this, then why is everybody going to different churches? Because people like variety. People like variety, man. That's why. And they like their drama. People love their drama. They love it. Dr. Danny, yeah, when I was doing it as a young kid, I was like hiding. I'm like, please don't answer the door. Please don't answer the door. Please don't answer the door. Nancy says, look at all these cults everywhere. Yeah, well, I got news for you. Life is a cult. The whole entirety is a cult. My life is a cult. Your life is a cult. Life in all its totality is a cult. The whole thing. The whole thing is a cult. And if you can at least sit there with that, there's power to that. Consider it. That life in all its totality is a cult. Gage Turner is asking about Hermeticism. Would you advise someone to look into it to understand the universe? I would not. I would advise you to use your intuition on what it is that you are gravitating towards. Use your intuition. See, the question that you've asked is probably the universe trying to get you to move towards Hermeticism. Typically, when somebody asks a question, it is the universe asking them the question, and then they want someone else to answer it, so they don't have to answer it. Maybe they're unsure. That's why people get tarot readings. Do you see how big tarot is? It's exploding. I've watched tarot readers have 20,000 subscribers. I got ones now, 500,000. 500,000 subscribers. Tarot. It's blowing up. Why? Well, one of the reasons is people don't want to have the answer. They don't want to make the answer. They don't want to make the thing happen. They want the answer to be given to them. It's always been that way. People always kind of looking to tarot for answers and all that kind of stuff. Danny says, Danny's asking a question. This is a fun one. How can you podcast so long without having to take a leak, having to pee? Asking for a friend. Well, you can tell your friend, I can go a long time. But usually I go right, like normally when I play the song in the beginning, that's when I'm in the bathroom. Hit the toilet, and then I'm good to go. But I can hold it. I can drink a lot of water. My bladder probably sometimes curses at me, but I can hold a lot of water. Nancy says, yeah, I know Tyler. I know Tyler. Well, I don't know him personally, but I know his tarot. He lives in Las Vegas, or at least he did. He had like when I started watching Tyler, he's pretty good. He had like 300,000. Now he's got almost 1 million. So good for him. So getting back to you, Gage Turner, one of my thoughts on Hermeticism, it's a philosophy. And if you're asking, should I move towards it, because that's what you're asking, then the answer is yes. Because you're asking. It's just like the same thing as if someone comes to me and says, hey, Logan, I'm thinking about moving. What do you think? What do you mean, what do I think? I think you should move. Where's the idea coming from? Not you. If you're looking into moving and you're looking into astrocartography and then you ask somebody, hey, I'm thinking of moving, what do you think? They're not interested in moving. I'm stable, I'm here, I'm not moving. They may tell you, yeah, move. Or they're like, oh shit, man, you don't want to move in this economy. But the universe wants you to move. You may move somewhere and you may meet the person of your dreams. You may move somewhere and get the job of your dreams. You may move somewhere and meet a business partner that will make you rich and wealthy. Everything happens for a reason. Everything. There's no accidents in this reality. None. It's all staged. Scripted reality, man. For sure. What do I mean by a scripted reality? What I mean by a scripted reality is that your life is not your own. Every single one of you. You do not have free will. You think you do, but you don't. What free will do you have? Your emotions, how you react to things. How many times have something happened to you where if you wouldn't have gone on that trip, or if you would have taken that plane trip and if the flight wouldn't have gotten canceled, or if the dog wouldn't have gotten sick, or if I didn't break that glass, or if I didn't fall down that flight of stairs, I wasn't going to go out tonight. I was warm, it's cold out. I wasn't going to go out there. My friend called me. I wasn't going to go out though. Because you'll ask these people, it's like, how did you meet your husband? Oh man, I never would have met him if I would. My friend persisted that we go out. I didn't want to go out. I was ready to go to sleep. I was having a glass of wine. I was bundled up. She persisted and persisted that I go out, and I met him. I met him when I went out. Never would have met him unless I would have went out. That's called fate. Or you're in the kitchen and you're cleaning a glass, and you break the glass and you slice your finger open, and you got to go to the hospital. It's so bad, your finger's severed, and you got to go to the hospital. It's bleeding profusively. You got to get stitches. You go to the hospital. You meet this nurse who stitches you up. You ask her on a date, and now you're married. Who broke the dish? Oh my God, this girl that I met, this nurse, the most amazing person I've ever met in my life. How'd you meet her? Oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. I was in the kitchen. I was cleaning a wine glass. I broke it on my finger. I had to go get stitches. She was the nurse that stitched me back, my finger. So if you wouldn't have been drinking wine, if you wouldn't have bought that wine at Trader Joe's the night before, because you were just in the neighborhood and you normally don't go to that neighborhood, but you were in the neighborhood because you had to go pick somebody up that called you randomly that you normally never talk to, but they needed your help, and there's a Trader Joe's over there. So you go into the Trader Joe's and there's a bottle of wine, and you get the bottle of wine. Like, I haven't had a bottle of wine in forever. So you pick this person up, you haven't heard from them in forever. You go to this Trader Joe's that's in a neighborhood you've never been into. You grab a bottle of wine that you normally never drink. You go home. The next night you're drinking the bottle of wine. You're in the kitchen cleaning the glass. You break the glass. You go to the hospital because you sliced your finger, and you meet the nurse and you marry the nurse. How is that not fate? Where is the free will in this whole string of events? This shit happens all the time. All the time. Where's the free will, man? Some of you have firsthand stories that you can tell similar to what I just said. And if you string it all along and you map it all out like a detective, like, yeah, if I wasn't in that neighborhood at that time, I wouldn't have gone to that store. I wouldn't have bought that item that caused the finger to get sliced open. I never would have met this person. Fate. It's fate, man. Sonia K8984 is asking, what is my script? Well, the best way that you can find out what your script is to study yourself. Now you can get a reading from people, like Dr. Danny does readings here, I do readings. Then there's courses. we created, this is what we did, right? So there are a lot of people that their budget doesn't call for getting a reading from me or from somebody else. So what we did is we created this course called Spotlight. It's $229, man. 5 hours of information. 5 hours. That's all it is. $200. You get 2 free books with it. And it will take you through all of these tools: astrology, numerology, playing cards, tarot, totem pole, cosmic codes, human design. All of this step by step by step to show you what your blueprint is. And when you finally do the course, it's a go at your own pace. You'll learn your love signature. Why would you want to learn your love signature? Because your love signature is more than likely not your partner's. Your moon is probably not in the same position as your partner. The moon is your emotions, how you react, how you get your dopamine and oxytocin and serotonin payoffs in the brain. It's where your moon position is. And then your Venus, your love signature. How you want to be loved, how you love. We see there's a problem in relationships with that, because if your love signature is not the same as your partner's, you're going to push your love signature onto them. That's the only way you know how to love. But that's not how they want to receive the love. So it's cool in the beginning because we tolerate shit and sex is amazing and you're kissing and you're getting all giggly, pushing each other in the bushes and having fun. But when that honeymoon stage wears off, you're left with the raw code, the raw love signature. So this is what this teaches you. You learn about you learn about your partner. You learn about your kids, your children. Man, if I was a parent and I had a kid, I would be so grateful to get, and I'm not trying to pump this and hype this up, but I'm saying to get a course that I could learn about my kid. Because your kid has a different love signature than you, probably. Their emotions are probably different than yours. They handle their emotions different than you. And then what they want to do as their future self may be different than you. You know, there's a lot of parents that they force their children into being what they did as their career. And you go to their astrological chart, and their astrological chart is nothing like their parents. Nothing. But their parents push them. I'm a doctor, you're going to be a doctor. The money's good. Trust me, son. Trust me, daughter. The money's good. It's a stable career. But they're not destined. They need to be a musician. They want to be a singer. Got to study it all, man. We can study the cards. Tied to nature. This system, ladies and gentlemen, there's no other system on the planet like it. I know it because I've scoured it. 5 different hours of esoteric information. 5, over 5 hours. And you can do your pets. Once you know how to use this system, you can look, if you know your pet's birthday, you can look at their love signature and their emotions. It's not exactly like human beings, but at least it's something to look at. And you'll start to see, I've done this myself, you'll start to see how your pets are embedded into the cards and the books, the astrology. And so we created this course because people like to do their own research. And so we have, if you're a fan of human design, you got to move it into true sidereal because tropical's not accurate. So that's what we did. And we added on the elements of the periodic table tied to the gates. So Richard Rudd had his gene keys. Well, we took the gene keys and we added the elements on the periodic table to it. Numerology, your name, your birth certificate name. What does it mean? The cosmic playing cards, 52 cards, 52 weeks, 4 suits, 4 seasons. We embedded it into the tarot. And then we have this. I learned this from a real Cherokee shaman in Ojai, California. You do this once in your life. This is called the cosmic totem pole. And it's lined up with the chakras. You do it one time in your life, once. And you're using the medicine cards for this. And then you map it all out and you put it into, and this is what you get. This is my cosmic code. Look at all this information that I got. All this is from the course. You'll learn all this. All of it. All of this. Look how much information I gathered on myself. All of this. And then you take all of it and you dump it into AI and you get your definition so you don't have to figure it out. It figures it out for you. And it is so good at figuring it out for you. So that's what we created, because I can't read. I love doing readings, but I can only do one person at a time, and they take hours. Hours. That course, you go at your own pace. And there's nothing like it, man. Like, I stand by that because, like I said, I've tested it. It's the only one of its kind. It will be repeated. People are going to start to repeat it and duplicate it. That's whatever. It's going to happen. It's fine. Just create something else. But I mean, if you're a parent, the most important thing you can do is to study your kid's blueprint. Because, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing about children, right? When you look at your child's, just their astrology, and you go to their second house of money, and you go to their 10th house of their career, and you look at where their desires are, and you look at their Mars and where their ambition is, and you look at their love signature and how they match up with partners, and you look at their 7th house of partnership, and you start to map all this stuff out, and you collect all the data for your child, right? Because you want to be a good parent. When they start to get older and you read the chart and read the blueprint of them, and then you say, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they say, I want to be a guitarist. I want to be a musician. And you go back to their chart, and in the chart the AI dumped out for you, it says, this child could be a musician. They have music in their chart. You would not even hesitate to get that child to take lessons, because you have the child telling you, I want to be a musician, and you have the blueprint saying they are destined to be a musician. It's a match. And then you as a parent will feel so much more inclined to pay and to do what it takes to put your child through lessons or tutor or sending them to Berklee School of Music or whatever you got to do. Instead of saying, you're going to medical school because I was a doctor, you're going to be a doctor. And forcing them. And there's a lot of resentment from kids to parents because the kids don't want to be a doctor. But there's this pressure. I want to make my parents proud. And the parents saying, make me proud. And you don't want to let your parent down. So there's that layer. But when you go to the astrology and numerology and their life path and their totem pole and their playing cards, you can see what they're coded to be like, man. That's why I know that we're moving into a perfected society and we're moving into a more happy society, because parents can teach their children and they can teach themselves about how their kids are coded, and this makes a better, happier society. Because now your child's doing what they're destined to be doing, what they want to do. And then there's no hesitation on your part. You're all in. You're not checking or raising the hand. You're all in. That's what this whole course is all about. That's astrology, numerology. This has been a thing for a long time. But now we've made it to be so easy to follow. If you know how to copy and paste, you can breeze through the course. You breeze through it. And then once you do it yourself, you can do anybody as long as you have their birth details. So if you got kids, Kids, your child could grow up and save the world one day, or they may not, based upon you doing a certain specific thing. And yes, it's all fate. That's why I know we're moving into a perfected society, because people are going to take these courses. That's why tarot's blowing up and astrology's blowing up, and it's coming back, because the world is ready to say, hey, I want to know myself. I don't want to be told what I am and what I'm supposed to do. I want to know who I am. From the raw code, the raw format, I want to know what I'm coded as, what I'm supposed to be doing, not what somebody tells me what I should be doing. I don't want that. Aquarius is I know thyself. Pisces was just be quiet and have faith and salvation and just do what you're told. Don't ask questions. Don't try to ask questions. Don't try to question mark things. You're going against the word of God. Don't do that. Well, that's the Piscean energy. Now we're moving into Aquarius, which is I want to know what the hell I'm doing here, because something ain't right in this world. Something's missing. So I feel like that's what we're moving. We're moving into a society where people are they're going to know their true selves. Not like a robot, but like, what is your switches that turn you off and on? You know, I can look at someone's astrology chart and I can tell if you're somebody who has a high sex drive. Yep, I can tell. Is it 100% accurate? No. I've studied enough charts though, asked enough questions. It's verified by age, of course. There are other factors involved. I can tell if you've got an anger issue. I can tell if you're hot off the collar. You can tell with astrology. You can tell with numerology. This is the future of dating. The future of dating, folks, is not going to some matchmaker. Oh, you match up. Oh, yeah, you like bread. They like bread. Oh, you're a good match. Wow, we'll put you in the sourdough bread class, and you guys just put flour over each other. You'll have such a good time. No, matchmaking is forget that's basic stuff. No, the future of dating is in this whole entire spotlight court. I'm telling you, it's going to move into it. Because it's expensive to take somebody out if you're on a budget. People try to impress. They'll break their bank just to put their best foot forward. I mean, if you could see into the future and you knew that person it's going to end in shit, you wouldn't go on the date. More than likely you wouldn't. So it's never going to go away. Love and romance, besides, I used to be on the seminar circuit, besides money, besides chasing money, love is number 2. And you could literally flip those around. And it depends on what season you're in. If you're in your summertime, we put this on the Patreon. What season do you live in? Spring, summer, fall, or winter? Currently, right now, where are you at? Spring, summer, fall, and winter. I'm in my fall season. It's different living in your fall season than versus living in your summer season. If you're living in your summer season, you may think of dating as something completely different as somebody who's in their winter season, who's got about 10 years left on their life and they're not interested in a relationship. So it's different. Someone who's in their summertime, who's a spring chicken, and they got their whole life ahead of them and they're a know-it-all and they don't need to hear it from you. Yeah, they just want to go have sex and have fun and try it out and whatever. So it's different. That plays a role out. What season you're living in. So it's your love signature, what season you're living in. There's a lot of factors. How much you think about sex, man, that's another big factor. How often do you think about sex? I don't expect any of you to answer that. Some of you here you watch porn. And no one knows it. You hide it. Whatever. Now, the Bible does say submit to authority. That's Romans. Of course, it's the book of Romans, right? The book of Romans, all roads lead to Rome. Romans, I can't remember what chapter and verse it is. Jack U4I2P. I don't know if you're a bot or a real person. Is the universe an alien creation created to harvest diamonds? I don't even know what that means. What's up, Lena? Thank you so much. Good to have you here. How's Florida? Nancy says, I already figured my kids out. That's great. When I say children, I'm talking about those of you that are parents that have newborns or toddlers, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're still under your thumb. That's where the Spotlight course shines, because they haven't fully embedded themselves into their code yet. If you have a prodigy child and you start to see signs of what that prodigy is and you back it up with their code, you won't even hesitate. I would think you won't even hesitate. Elena says, free will equals you're either willful or willing. That's kind of a cool summarization. So we've gone through these before, and I got enough questions here. I'm gonna go through them again. I'm gonna show all of you. If you're a heart suit, and I'm going by the cards, so the tarot does something different. So we're just gonna use the playing cards. Something. Give me 1 second. That's 2, 9. Ace, Jack. What's those? Okay. 4, 5, 6. Missing the 7. that's great. I'm missing a card. Oh, there it is. 10, Jack. All right. If we take the, I learned the card system by Sacred Symbols of the Ancients and my great friend Sharon Jeffers. I have since kind of graduated out of this system and created something new, but I'm still using this system. And this system is based on the Gregorian calendar, which we've already talked about how amazing it is earlier on in this What's Your Question? But if we start with and go through these cards one by one, right? The Ace of Hearts. If you're an ace, doesn't matter if you're a heart. If you're an ace, you represent the new seed, the new beginning. The heart suit is the biology of the body. So it represents the physicalness. We got a heart. There's a heart on the card. It's red. The hearts are red. So if you're an ace, you are the beginning of love. The pouring in of love. If you represent it with ideas, it's new ideas. Constantly. So it can mean new love coming in constantly. Well, then the ace, as it continues to pour out these new love ideas, it has to cement itself. It has to turn itself into solidification. You would think like this is the sun. Card number 1. The sun wants to play the game. It's looking down on Earth. It goes around the Earth, and it's like, man, I'm tired of going around. I want to go. I'm watching what everybody's doing. I want to go play. So it becomes the 2. Now it gets into partnerships. 2 of Hearts is partnerships of love. If you're a heart suit, your primary function in life is I feel. That's what you do. You feel your way through life. So the 2 of Hearts is a card of partnerships. Once you solidify that partnership, now you need to expand on that partnership, and then you get into the 3. The 3 in numerology means expansion. Expanding the heart. This represents the way you communicate through the way you feel. If you're a 3 of Hearts, you communicate your feelings with the world. Now, everybody does that, but you do that as a priority. 3 is expansion. This sits in the house of Mercury and Gemini. It's an air energy. Movement. 3 is movement. Talking, singing, dancing, artistry, creativeness, all tied to the heart. Then after you get done with the 3, you move into the stabilization of the 4. Now you're secure. I have a secure heart. I'm content. I have my partner. I have my creativity and my expansions. Now I'm complete. Stable, secure heart. My heart is secure. Homeostasis. My heart is balanced. I'm complete. 4. I don't need anything. I'm good. I got everything I need. That's the 4. 4 seasons. Complete. 4 corners of the earth. Complete. 4 blood types. Complete. 4 hearts. But you see, you're not satisfied there because boredom sets in. And like all 4s, the structure and the stability gets boring. So what do? You move into the number 5. 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses. you move into the 5 of hearts, and now you get into what's called the restless heart. If you're a 5 of hearts, you might be challenged with infidelity issues. All 5s would be. You could be a 5 birthday, 5 life path. You could be, I'm not saying you will be, I'm not saying you are, you could be challenged with infidelity in relationships. That could be a 5 of clubs, 5 of diamonds, 5 of spades, 5 of hearts. But the 5 of hearts from its original format is it doesn't want, it's like I'm bored with stability. I got everything I need, but you know what? I'm not satisfied. I'm bored. So I'm going to go venture out and I'm going to go look for other things in my life because I have a restless heart. This sits in the sign of Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. In Chinese, it's the dragon. In the major arcana of the tarot, it's the Hierophant, the guru. This is to get away from boredom and move into expansion and manifestation. And when you get out there and venture out and you go beyond the stability of the 4 and you're moving through the 5 and you're moving through the 5 senses and the 5 and you're experiencing things and you're feeling really good and yada, 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 then you reach the climax, the number 6, the first perfect number in mathematics. It's the element carbon. Maybe you make a baby here. Maybe you settle down and you have a family. You got the partner, but now maybe it's time to have the family. This card is the baby card. The word baby in Chaldean numerology equals 6. The numerical value of baby is 6. This energy ties to the sign of Virgo, the Virgin, because the Virgin produces carbon-based life forms. Carbon is the 6th element. This is the 6th card in the French Gregorian system. This is the baby. That's why there are 6 days of creation in Judeo-Christianity. Not 5, not 4, 6. Because 6 represents carbon-based life forms. The 6th house of astrology is your legacy, your masterpiece, your family, your children, your wife, your husband. Virgo is the Virgin and she wants to keep it perfect. Doesn't happen that way, but that's what she will do, whatever she can. 6 is the number of service. If you're a 6 life path, you are on a path of service. You, as a 6 of hearts, maybe you're born, and this is the card for December 25th. The official birthday of the Jesus character is this card, the baby. You are the child of the universe. Once you become the child, then it's time for the rest and reflection. Then you move on to L in 7, the 7 of hearts. And now you have the completion of the circuit of the heart suit. Now you sit at the crown, where the 7th day in theology is the day of rest and reflection. So you will look down upon all of these hearts that you've assimilated in your life. And if you're a club, it will be the clubs. If you're a diamond, it will be the diamonds. The 7 now is about choices. Because now you're in the sign, this is a card of Libra or Libra. Libra is the balancing of the scales. Why? Because the sun in the sign of Libra through tropical astrology is going down into the underworld. This is the card to represent the final frontier before the sun goes down into the underworld. It's gone all the way across the sky and it's seen everything it can, and now it's at the sign of Libra and it's about ready to go down into the underworld. So it has to balance itself out before it goes down into the underworld. 7 of hearts. balance, homeostasis of the heart. But then you enter into the underworld, and then you get into the 8 of hearts. And now you get into the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by, traditionally, Mars. And then, esoterically, Hades. Because Scorpio is the first sign, officially, that is representing the underworld, the darkness. There's no light down there in the 8th house. So it is a house of power. The darkness is where all the monsters hang out. The darkness is where the power is generated. The yin energy. It's generated in the darkness. The underworld. So the 8 of hearts is the card of power of love. You are the epitome of love through power. And then you would look to see where your Pluto and Hades and your Mars is at in your astrological chart. This sits in the sign of Scorpio. And it will blend in with Ophiuchus as well. Then you move into the final aspect of the single digits, and you move into the 9. The 9 of hearts. In the tarot, it's the 9 of cups. This card sits in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the hunter, who is ruled by Zeus, the king of the gods. Sagittarius is one of 2 centaurs on the constellations, the other one being Centaurus, which is Chiron. The 9 and the 9 of hearts is the fulfillment or wish fulfillment of love. The 9s on the chessboard are the bishops. The red are the white bishops. The priests. The church. Just do the right thing. The 9 of hearts is the replication, the reinforcement, the recycling of love. This 9 is what repeats all these other numbers. 9 repeats the cycle. So if I put a number 8 next to it, and you add 9 plus 8, you're going to get 17. 1 plus 7 is 8. So the 9 repeats the 8. Any number you put next to the number 9, it will repeat it. If I do it with the 7, what is 7 plus 9? 16. What is 1 plus 6? 7. The 9s are the number that says where we're going to go. It's the dictator of where the energy is going to go. The 9, Sagittarius. Remember, the winter solstice on December 21st is in Sagittarius, as is January 1st. It is not a Capricorn energy. It is a Zeus Sagittarius energy. The 9th house represents the way you think, your ethics, your morals, your principles, your dogma, your theological principles. And on the periodic table, the 9s represent fluorine, which is fluoric acid, because the 9 is acidic. That's why you'll see a lot of 9 energy being negative. Because the 9 can be the procreator, like I want to go through utopia, and it can be the dystopia as well. It's an acid-based number. It dissolves. Fluorine dissolves. Fluorine is the most electronegative element on the periodic table. So that doesn't mean if you're a 9 of hearts, you're going to be Mr. or Mrs. Negative. Because it's a paradox. But it is a electronegative number. 9 is on the periodic table. Because it repeats and it burns. It repeats and it burns. It repeats and it burns. That's why Sagittarius is the hunter. He's hunting. Zeus is hunting. Who's he hunting? Well, the Titans, of course. Then you get into the double digits. You move into the 10s. 10 of hearts, the completion of love. You've already moved through the single digits. Already done that. Now I'm on the next tier. 10 of hearts. If you have this card, you're on a frequency of, I've completed the cycle of love. I don't need it. You may want it, but you don't need it because it's the completion of love. This sits in the sign of Capricorn. This is a card ruled by Chronos, time. The completion of love in time. Everything is in time. Chronos, and why the role of Chronos is so big, because it represents the time capsule that we're in. This is the completion of love. Then you move into the jacks, the knights, the horses on the chessboard. This is the white knight, the jack of hearts. In the French Gregorian system, it sits right in the center point of the cross. This represents Jesus. That's why Jesus starts with the letter J. These are the horses that go into battle. This knight is not looking to go into battle. It's looking for love. It's that macho man looking for love. So the jacks are going to go into battle. This one goes into battle for love. This card right here, I know like one of my good friends, really good managers, Jack of Hearts. All the jacks are really efficient at something special. And then you move into the queens. The queens represent the sign of Pisces, the fish. Queen of Hearts, the Queen of Dreams. It's fascinating because this card right here sits and is owned by Poseidon. Poseidon is the owner and ruler of Hotel Pisces. This card is the card of NASA. NASA's formation on July 29th, I think it is, Queen of Hearts. It's the Queen of Dreams. See, NASA wants you to get to believe in their dreams. Despite what you think about them, I hope by now all of you have graduated past that. Who gives a shit what they're all about? Who cares? Who cares if they fake this and fake that? Who gives a shit? Queen of Dreams. What's your dream? If you're a Queen of Hearts, you should be paying attention to your dreams. You should probably live by water because it's a Pisces card. That will be obviously looking at your fourth house. If your fourth house has got water in it, I rest my case. And then the final king is the King of Hearts, and this king sits in the middle of the astrological chart. It doesn't belong to any of the houses. It oversees them all. The King of Love. See, the king wants to find the queen. The queen is the Queen of Dreams. The queen will make your dreams come true. So the king tries to find the queen. So the King of Hearts' job is to oversee all of its children, which are all of these cards right here, all the astrological signs. So you have a role if you're a king or queen, even in the night. You have a big role if you have these. You're not better than anybody. These are all on the chessboard. If you're an 8 of hearts, you're a pawn. If you're a 4 of hearts, you're a pawn. But pawns are necessary in chess. They are big time pieces because they will exchange energy. They can march down the board and become a queen, or they can become a bishop. So the pawns are the knight, the queen, or king in training. So the role is sufficient, it's important, and it's an integral layer of chess. Well, these cards govern our lives, folks. And that's just the heart suit. You could take any suit, the clubs, the diamonds, the spades, and correlate it to your life. If you're a spade suit, if you're a spade, I am. You represent your spirituality more than anybody else. Not to say nobody else has it, but your main drive in life is your spirituality, your oneship with the divine, something like that. You could be atheist. If you're a diamond suit, your main function in life is I want, because the diamonds are physicality. That doesn't mean you have to have wealth in your life. Doesn't mean you're going to be wealthy. But the primary aspect of your drive in life is physical. If you're a 10 of diamonds, I mean, this is the card of Jim Carrey. This is the card of Prince. This is the card of, who else has got this card? Bob Proctor. Huge names with money. Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowl rings, 10 of diamonds. The completion of money. This is the card of Bob freaking Proctor, who taught people how to use the law of attraction to become wealthy. Of course, the majority of people that use it never got wealthy. Why? Because they're not a 10 of diamonds like him. So he'll tell you, oh, it's universal. Anybody can have this. It's not what the code says. It's fate, man. His fate was, I am going to get wealthy. His destiny, and I'm a huge fan of him. I didn't know this when I was studying him. But not only does he have this as his birth card, which means fortunate blessings, his Rahu is in freaking Capricorn, which this card sits in Capricorn. So his destiny was to become wealthy. And if you want to learn to become wealthy and you got a diamond suit like that, he's the best guy to learn it from, because you got money in your chart. And some of you have the diamonds. Like if you're when you study the chart and you look at the chart, this chart, some of you have, like if you're a 10 of hearts, you get the 10 of diamonds. If you're a 4 of spades, you get the 10 of diamonds. If you're a 6 of diamonds, you get the 10 of diamonds. If you're an 8 of clubs, you get the 10 of diamonds. If you're the jack of spades, you get the 10 of diamonds. So you know how to read this chart. You can do predictions. I use this thing to predict 3 winning Super Bowls. Last time I did it, I got it wrong, but 3 Super Bowls I predicted with this system. That's what I used with everything else. But I don't do it anymore. Not interested in that. But you can do it because it's a system that's embedded in the calendar. So you can take any of those that I just explained and flip it into yours. I think I missed the club. If you're a club, if you're this, you're a thinker. I think. Fire. Ignition. If you're a 3 of clubs, you like to go on trips. You like to move around. The expansion of the mind. Where can I go? What can I do? I got to scratch this, scratch. I'm not satisfied. Travel, move around. If you're a 3, you're moving around. Expansion. If you got energy in Gemini or Mercury somewhere in your chart, which pushes that Quicksilver, move, and you got a 3 of clubs, you're going to move around. You're going to get around. So you can take all of these cards, which is what we did, and you can take them and put them into the astrological chart, your astrological chart, your fixed positions, your blueprint, and you can take all of your cards from this system. We show you how to do it, and you can get the definitions of each one of these cards, your Mars, Mercury. You can get like your Venus. What is your Venus? Your Venus is where? Where's your Venus? My Venus is in Sagittarius. At the end of Sagittarius. So you know what my love signature is? You know how I want to love? I want to help you. I want to show you how you can better your life. Sagittarius, the mind, the higher mind, philosophy, theology. So if I'm in a relationship with you, I'm going to be showing you esoteric, the cards. I'm going to show you how to better your life through astrology. I'm going to love you that way. I want to have deep conversations about the esoteric and moving and doing all. That's because my love signature is in Venus. And through that system, I have the Ace of Diamonds. So my love signature is primarily focused on work. It's always been that way for me, Ace of Diamonds. Once you know this stuff, folks, and you own it, and you don't move away from it, and you're like, yeah, that's me. Wow, that's me. Well, then follow it. Just use ethics and morals. You're not going to be an asshole when you study the information. You could be. But that's the value of all these systems. Studying them. And if you study them, you're supposed to study them. There are no accidents. Milton's asking a question. What is the importance of the planetary ruling card? Well, now you're going to get into the variances of the card system. So the planetary ruling card is where your sun is. Now, if you're using true sidereal, the accurate measurement of the sky, then you're going to base whatever you're going to start with your birth card and you're going to move it. I don't know if I have my charts open. I'll open this up and show you. Give me 1 second. So when you look over here to the right, this is the master life spread. This is ground zero. This is your 0 birthday. You never celebrated your 0 birthday, but you had one. You just never acknowledged it. Your birthday number 1, you probably did. Anyway, I'll use myself as the example. On the French Gregorian system, I'm right here. 8 of spades. I'm a Capricorn sun, so my planetary ruling card is Saturn, Chronos. So you go from right to left, top to bottom. So you start here, and I go to the next slot, that's Mercury. That's Venus. Then you go to the bottom, start back over. This is my Mars card. This is my Jupiter card. This is my Chronos card. So my planetary ruling card for me is the 3 of clubs. Okay? Chronos. That's how that works. If you're let's say you're a 4 of clubs and you're a Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is right next to it. So the planetary ruling card for the 4 of clubs born under Mercury or Gemini is the 2 of diamonds. Simple. It's really easy. I don't really, to be honest, in the course, I didn't talk about the planetary ruling card because out of all the cards, it's really not as relevant. It's not as relevant as all of them, and then you slice and dice them into the astrological chart. There's much more value in knowing where your Mars card is placed in your astrological chart than just knowing what your Mars card is. Much more value. All right, I think we're going to wrap this one up. Let's go through your questions here. All right, so got a lot of chatter going on. So let's pull some cards and we'll wrap this one up. Give these a shuffle. Arizona Lane asked, I don't know if you're asking me this, has it ever occurred to you that the alphabet doesn't have to be in a certain order? I'm not sure what you mean by that. It's always been in a specific order if you go back to the, the originations. Phoenician, Hebrew, Greek. There's always been orders with those. Latin. I think that's just what people naturally do. They just put them in order. Let's give this a couple more shuffles and then we'll pull some cards. Moto rough stock. You got the spotlight, you haven't opened it yet. Okay, what are you stuck on? Somebody thinks I'm an asshole in here. I love it. You don't believe this. The real Lucifer Morningstar 222. Do you even know what that number means? Or you just put that up there because you want to look cool? Well, I'm glad to hear that, Christy. All right. Let's get some cards out. Let's pop this out. There we go. All right. So normally what we do is we just randomly pull. What I've been doing lately is just randomly pulling 3 cards and kind of just giving a general overview of what that's going to look like. And we're going to also pull 1 card from the astral cards to maybe have you focus on a specific house or planetary influence. Sometimes I'll get a clarifier, but let's just see kind of what generally we get. And the idea here is what's the most important thing for you to focus on in life right now? And remember, this is collectively. So do the best you can. Don't try to make this work for you. It may mean nothing for you. And then for some of you, it's like it smashed you in the face. Like I'm literally talking to you. I think the last time, what's your question? Number 111, I think it was there was some court or some alimony or something like that that was coming out in the reading. That some court stuff. Some people would have to go to court or go to court. But let's see. So what's the most important thing for you to focus on in your life right now? So we get the 8 of diamonds. Now we can flip that upside down and we can flip it right side up. It's funny because I have so many meanings to these now. This is like the Santa Claus card. The 8 of diamonds sits in the crown line of the card system. This is the 72nd card in the tarot. The sun slips 1 degree every 72 years for the precession of the equinoxes. 72 angels and demons, the Shem in Judaism and Jewish mysticism. But the 8 of diamonds, the very aspect of it, the meaning of it is physicality. And obviously it means going to work. That's why we got Santa there. If you were on the Patreon and I did the decode on Christmas, it was amazing what the real meaning of Christmas is all about. If you want to check that out, it's on the Patreon. Matter of fact, I have over 150 videos, over 125 hours of videos you will not find here on the public YouTube. So you can go, and if you sign up now, you get all those contact, all that video. But anyway, the 8 of diamonds, 8 of pentacles. Let's see what the next card is. It's kind of giving you the context. 72 stands out. Hafnium on the periodic table. Germanium on the periodic table. What's this? Oh shit, the boredom card. So we have work, making things happen, and then there's boredom here, but there's also an opportunity. Some of you, and I don't want to get too far ahead, but some of you may have lost your job, got laid off, didn't see it coming, and now there may be a new opportunity coming. Let's just see what the third card is. Third card. Most important thing to focus on in life right now. What is this one? The king of the mastermind. Card number 36. 36, excuse me. So the mastermind comes in. This is a powerful card. This is tied to September 11th. Tied to the Tower of Babel, the Twin Towers. This is a powerful, powerful card. Card 36 in the tarot. Tied to Krypton, tied to chlorine. So we have a fire suit, we have a water suit, we have a earth suit. We have work, we have the lack of work or the lack of desire, but then we have the mastermind there. So these three cards, for some of you, most important thing to focus on in life right now. For some of you, it will be work. For some of you, you have a new opportunity coming in that will provide you with a lot of work. That mastermind card coming at the end will be wrapped around strategies and making sure that you cross your T's and dot your I's. Some of you may miss the opportunity, destiny anyway. Let me pull a astral card and see what house it's going to sit in. Or at least give us a nudge to where we're going to go from there. What is that? Chiron. So it's tied to the centaur. It's tied to the wound. So what this is reading like that I can see is that some of you may have gotten laid off. Some of you may have gotten your pink slip. Some of you may be getting laid off. Some of you may have lost your job. And, Chiron is the wound. So if it's in your 10th house, that could play out. That I could be talking directly to you. There may be a new opportunity coming into your life. See, this Four of Hearts, which we talked about, there's the new opportunity coming in. Some of you may have a great job right now, but a better opportunity is going to be coming in for you. The Chiron could be standing in your way because the Chiron represents your wound. There may be fear around making the change. Some of you may not want to make that change, which is why you have this Four of Hearts. You're like, nah. See the cup coming in? This is the change coming in. You're like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to make the change because the job market right now, et cetera, et cetera. So some of you because of that Chiron placement, I would encourage you to go look at your Mastering the Zodiac, not tropical, masteringthezodiac.com, and look to see. And I'm just going to go with you guys and gals. We're just going to go to the Stellarium app, and we're going to get today's date. Of course, it's not 2026, but I'm just going by what this is saying. We're going to go, I'm just going to show you where Chiron is. So maybe you have your Chiron here in the sign of Pisces, dead center in the sign of Pisces right there. So it could represent, something that's hidden, something you're hiding. Some of you are hard at work. There's a new opportunity coming in. There could be some of you may have a new opportunity coming in by way of a new business partner that could come in. That could be a mastermind. This is the mastermind. And you have to make the decision on whether or not you want to take that opportunity. But there's work here. The Eight of Pentacles is work. Typically, traditionally, is work. It's Santa in his workshop, so it's the worker. The Four of Cups is the person that's bored. Some of you may be bored of your job. You're tired of your boss. You're tired of your position. You know it's not your best scenario. You know it's just filler. You know it's just exchanging time for money. You don't like what you're doing. You're tired of it. And this might be playing out on your Chiron wound. Chiron is in Pisces, testing your faith. Chiron in Pisces, testing the faith. Pisces being the fish, the ichthys, testing the faith. This may be testing your will, your perseverance, your faith. We have 148 for the total amount of cards. That's tied to the eye of Jupiter, the great red spot. Zeus is in Gemini right now. It's doing a backwards loop. But there's work here, there's boredom of work, and then there's mastermind. There's work or lack of work or getting laid off from work, but a new opportunity could come in. So those of you that are maybe getting laid off or have gotten laid off, this is not a time to sit there and stress out and worry. You need to have faith and realize the mastermind coming in is going to provide something for you. It may take some time. You gotta just, it's only temporary. But the Chiron in Pisces could also be testing your faith. Are you going to have, if those of you that have lost or you're losing, are you going to have faith that something's going to replace that? Those of you that are hard at work, there could be another opportunity that could come in who is a mastermind to help you with having faith to get the job done. It could be tied to that. Chiron in Pisces. Faith, the absence of faith. So I just see this a two-part way. Some of you could have lost your job. You might be getting a new job. It will be better, but you have to stand and keep your perseverance. Some of you may be in transition right now, and you are losing your faith. You're losing hope. Chiron and Pisces, man. Pisces is the surrender, the salvation, the faith. Chiron there, the wound, the lack of that, testing that. So this could wrap all around your money and your finances. And then for some of you, it could be where you're happy with your job. A new opportunity is going to come in and you got to use logic and discernment on whether or not you want to say yes or no to that. Again, having faith in your intuition and your abilities. Pisces, intuition. So that's what I got for all of you. That's what I got for all of you. And I'm sure if it just helps one person or gives you the information, just one of you, then great. It's not meant for everybody, right? because I can only interpret the way I see these. But clearly we have work or lack of work. We have an opportunity coming in. Whether or not you take that or whether or not you say no is besides the point. And then the King of Wands is the mastermind. So it's using logic and discernment with high authority. And it is tied to your faith and salvation, since Chiron came up with the astral cards and Chiron's in Pisces. And if you have the 8 of Diamonds playing card and you have your Chiron inside the 8th house, then that could play out as well right there for you. If you have the 4 of Hearts card and your Chiron is in your Cancer, that could play out for you. Some of you, this could be testing the home environment. 4 of Cups, this card right here, sits in the sign of Cancer. It sits in the 4th house. So we could be talking also about some of you supporting the home and not getting anything in return, or feeling like you're not getting anything in return, feeling like there's no reciprocation. But it may be you that's standoffish and not accepting. Maybe you're not being reciprocating. Maybe you're a great giver, but you're a horrible receiver. That could play out here. Also, I have it tied to the house of Scorpio, wherever your Mars and Hades is, and where your moon is at. So this 4 of Cups can involve your emotions. This is a card ruled by the moon. The moon is your emotions. So maybe your job or your career is not satisfying you emotionally anymore, and you know that it's time to make the change. I'll leave you with all this. I'll leave all of you with this, I should say. In the French Gregorian system, this year's card is the Knight of Swords. Okay? Right here. This card right here is the card for 2026, which is attack, which is revolution, which is change. This is the card that sits inside the house of Aquarius. Remember, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is revolution. On January 3rd, the United States bombed Venezuela. This is the January 3rd card. Attack. They attacked Venezuela, whether or not it doesn't matter. It was on the say-so of this card. Attack. They already started playing it out. This is the card that governs 2026 from the Gregorian perspective. So when you take this card overall, it means attack. And you attack with purity. See the white horse? It's not a black horse, it's a white horse. It means purity. You're attacking with no blemishes, nothing. This is the white knight on the chessboard. White goes first, normally in chess. This is the knight that goes first. So this year, from the Gregorian perspective, is about attacking what you want, going after what you want, creating revolutions in your life on what you want. This is the year to do it. 226, 2026, 226, just to end this, to show you, those of you that don't know, on the periodic table, the element that has the 226 is the 88th element called Ra. There's the 226. This is 2026 right here. Ra. I am Ra. Okay? This is going to play out. It is playing out right now. Ra in Hebrew means evil. So there's that layer as well. Just know that. Know what I'm telling you. So for some of you, it can involve money. It could involve a job. It can affect your home life. But there's wisdom and there's the mastermind here at the very end. But I think the gem is the Chiron. Where your Chiron is, what your wound is. If you have your wound in your 10th house or your 8th house, it could be something that's affecting your power. But overall, the theme for 2026 is attack. Take advantage, attack, move. Move with the energy. Don't get lost. Don't get lost behind the energy. Move with the energy. It's a time to move. It's a time to create revolutions. This is the card of Aquarius. This sits in the house of Aquarius. It's ruled by Uranus. Uranus is revolution. Uranus is electric. Uranus is unconventional, unorthodox. It's the OG of the Greek gods. So it doesn't follow any of the rules of Zeus and Kronos, the Titan, or Helios, the Titan, or Prometheus, or Loki, or Aphrodite. None of that. It's an air energy. This is an air energy. Swords, air, attack. United States attacked Venezuela by air. Air, January 3rd, Venezuela invasion. Not only is this the January 3rd card, it is the card that governs 2026 on the French Gregorian calendar. So I hope that helps some of you here, one of you here. Just Chiron, no Aries. Remember, Chiron in the card system is the 9th card. So it means acid. When you see the number 9, it's tied to fluorine. It's the most electronegative element on the periodic table. It's acid, fluoric acid. If you ever watched Breaking Bad, fluoric acid, it eats away. It strips away. The 9 does. But it never goes away itself. It's the determining factor on which way the future goes. The 9 is. Because then you go into the 10, and that's a hierarchy of the 1 through 9. So when you reach the 10, that's the pinnacle. That's like you now have completed a cycle. The 9 is what determines which way that cycle is going to go. So if you're a 9, if you're a 9 life path, 9 birthday, you're a 9 of hearts, diamonds, clubs, or spades, you are the pivot. You are the pivot of your reality, of which way it's going to go. That's why it's the priest. That's why it's the bishop on the chessboard. That's why it has a lot of historicity with theology. Because the 9 is what navigates and dictates the way the energy is going to go. The 9 does. That's why it can be very evil. A lot of people, the 9 is a humanitarian, but it can be a dystopian kind of humanitarian. Okay? All right. So just remember, if you got here late, I have this, just last thing, I get this book. I just finished it earlier on today. It's a brand new book. I just finished it, Alchemical Cities. It's one of a kind. How latitude, longitude, and atomic mass shape civilization. And these are all the cities that we have as examples. We get the major Abrahamic religions. We got the mighty Olympians. We have Hinduism in here, the birthplace of Buddha. Of course, we couldn't leave out Hollywood, California, the Big Apple, the largest military in the world, and then Amsterdam, which used to be a world power back in the 1700s, which is still a beautiful city, amazing city. And then we got, the first city is the Great Pyramid of Giza. What does that energy look like alchemically? Well, that's what this book's all about. So we get this coming out. I don't know if it's good. It's probably going to come out on the, you're going to find it on this website right here, spotlight.life. Spotlight is L-I-T-E, spelled like this, S-P-O-T-L-I-T-E .life. The books are here. I have 2 books already, The Cards of Earth's Casino, and then we also have The Capital Stars. These 2 come with the course. So if you get the Spotlight course, you get the 2 books complimentary, and then I'm going to add on the Alchemical Cities. Probably put it here as well. Just don't know how it's going to look. These are all digital. I don't have these available on paperback or hardcover as of yet. These are digital. They're readable on your phone, PDF, and they're formatted for your phone, Kindle, or computer. Okay? So it'll be under that books right there. if you go to this website. All right. So I think we're going to wrap this one up. Let's see what we're going to play here to end this. Let's play some King Buffalo. I haven't played this song in a while. I love this tune right here. This is King Buffalo. The song's called Burning. It's one of my favorites. Amazing band. Support the band. I'll leave these links in the description of this video if you want to click on them and listen to them. I get a lot of people asking me to create a playlist, a music playlist, so I'm going to do that. But it's been an honor and a pleasure to join you here for What's Your Question number 112. Thank you for listening to all the comments, suggestions, answers, and the rants that we went on. We did kind of quite a bit of that tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sending you guys tons of love from the Caribbean here in Mexico. My name is Logan for Decode Your Reality. Until next time, we will see you later.